Dragons of Lane College coming into this ball game. They are the number 7 team in the SIAC, so they are in the top 8 at this point. So if Tuskegee can knock down Lane with 3 here this afternoon, we'll make it an interesting scenario for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. We'll get you set here for baseball action. As the Dragons of Lane College, they will send up Trey Babbitt along with Deshaun Rogers, followed by Saul Gonzalez. They'll be the first 3 at the plate for head coach Jeff De La Concha and the Dragons of Lane College. And on the hill for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee, it's the sophomore Amari Morgan. And Amari sets and fires, and first pitch is up and in the zone for ball 1. So glad you could join us here on GTSN. First pitch at 5:58, just a little bit early on our start time. But the Golden Tigers looking to see if they can't win all 3 against the Dragons of Lane College here at Washington Field. Amari Morgan on the season. This will be his 13th appearance for the Golden Tigers, 1-4 on the campaign, 48 in the third innings before this start. 54 hits given up, 44 runs, and he's given up 36 base on balls with 19 strikeouts for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. Morgan on the hill right now, behind in the count, 3 balls and no strikes to Trey Babbitt, the leadoff batter for the Dragons of Lane College. And that's a 4-pitch walk to get things started here in this ball game. Not exactly the way Amari wanted to get things going here against the Dragons of Lane College. That will bring up the center fielder now, Deshaun Rogers, and Rogers will be followed by the designated hitter, Saul Gonzalez. So the Dragons put the first runner aboard in this ball game, just underway here from Washington Field. Curveball floats up there and just off the plate. Alvin King behind the plate calling the balls and strikes, and out in the field it's Alexander Ahmad. So those are the 2 responsible for the calls here in this SIAC matchup. Stretch for Morgan and the pitch. That one off the plate as well. So his first 6 pitches in this ball game are off the plate. And that will draw Samari and Ward coming to the mound now, just for a quick word with Amari, trying to get him settled. Ward's behind the plate this afternoon. Evan Jones at first, Ryan Morgan at second base, Devin Lee at short, and Alex Glass. He's at third base for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. In the outfield, going left to right, it's Jabari Johnson, Colin McLean out in center, and Jacoby Brooks out in right for the Tuskegee defense. Down at first base, Trey Babbitt drew the walk from Morgan. And now Amari behind in the count, 2 balls, no strikes to Deshaun Rogers. That pitch delivered inside for a strike by Amari. Let's see if that'll get him going now. 2-1 count to Rogers. Lights on here at Washington Field. Our first chance on GTSN to cover them in the lights. Swung on that pitch and swing. Takes the baseball wide of third base. That'll make it 2-2. Rogers on the season, a .350 batting average for the Dragons of Lane College. As a team, they bat .277. 2-2 from the stretch. Here's the pitch. That one up in the zone for ball 3. So the count full now to Rogers as Saul Gonzalez, their designated hitter, is on deck. Gonzalez leads the team in batting. There's a pitch curveball there when that one was low and in the dirt. So back-to-back walks. And the Dragons have him at second and first for the DH, Saul Gonzalez. He's a sophomore from Atlanta, transferred to Lane from Xavier University. 33 RBI for Gonzalez, 57 total bases. Slugging percentage of .655. So that's a sweet part of the Dragons lineup here with 2 aboard, nobody out, top of the first. Amari trying to get a groove here. Walked the first 2. And here's the pitch to Gonzalez. Curveball looped up there and out of the zone for ball 1. Shaping up to be a nice evening here in Tuskegee, Alabama. A little bit of wind, but that's just about died down now. No clouds to be found here in the Tuskegee sky. 2 aboard for the Dragons. Amari looks back to second base to Babbitt. Now throws the pitch to the plate, and that one's over for a strike. So that'll make the count 1-1. Babbitt down at second, Rogers at first. Amare to the plate, curveball there, got the corner there on the curveball, count to 1-2. So finally, Amare ahead in the count on a hitter. It's to DH Gonzalez. He'll be followed by Eli Garcia, the right fielder for the Dragons of Lane. This is the 55th meeting between these teams. Curveball there, chopped on and wide of first base as Gonzalez stays alive. TU leading the series 43-11 at the start of this three-game series over the weekend. Here tonight at Washington Field and back here tomorrow at 1 o'clock for doubleheader action. 1-2. Amare to the plate. Curveball. This one on the ground and headed through into right field for a base hit. So Gonzalez, he will pick up an RBI there and it will send Rogers over to third base. So Gonzalez continues to pound the baseball for the Dragons of Lane College. We get our first score of the ball game as he singles out to right field. And over to third goes Rogers. So that'll bring up the right fielder, Eli Garcia, with runners at the corners. Early trouble here for Amari Morgan for the Golden Tigers. Nobody out, top of the first. 1-0 lead for Lane College. Amare to the plate. Curveball, that one's over for a strike. Good pitch there from the sophomore. Garcia on the season, .355 batting average. Curveball there, plunked him in the left shoulder, so he's aboard on a walk. So 2 walked, and a hit batsman here will load the bases for the Dragons of Lane College. Trying to come back with that curveball, but that one did not break for Morgan. And Garcia down to first base, and everybody moves up a bag. Rogers stays at third, and down to second goes Gonzalez. And the sacks are full for Lane College. That draws a quick visit from head coach Chadwick Hall. So down at first base. That's a look at Eli Garcia. Down at second base, it's Saul Gonzalez. And at third is Deshaun Rogers. And Coach Hall taking a walk back to the Tuskegee dugout. Tuskegee trying to register its first out of the ball game. And at the plate for the Dragons of Lane College now comes Casey Lockwood, the third baseman. Nowhere to put him. Pitch bounced up there. Good block by Ward at the back of the plate to stop that one. And it's a ball to Lockwood. Lockwood, a sophomore from Clearwater, Florida. .206 batting average for him. 13 RBI, genuine chance for him as he took a pitch on the inside corner and Morgan finds the back of the plate there. Count goes to 1-1. Bases loaded. Amari with the 1-1 pitch here. This one swatted out to right field, angling out that way. Catch going to be made by Brooks, but they'll tag Rogers at third, and he'll cross the plate for the second run of this first inning for the Dragons of Lane College. So the sacrifice fly by Lockwood, and that's the second run of the ball game. And over to third now goes Gonzalez, and staying put is Garcia at first base. So they're at the corners again. 2-0 lead for the Dragons of Lane College. And at the plate now, the shortstop, Gabriel Garza. Garza, a junior. .299 batting average. On base percentage of .463. Takes a look at that first curveball, which is off the plate for ball 1. So 1 down here in the top of the first. Dragons with 2 across already. Runners at the corners. And the shortstop, Garza at the plate. No throw down. And now that'll put Lockwood, I beg your pardon, I'll put Garcia down to second base and Gonzalez at third. 1-1 delivery from Morgan. Fastball in there for a strike. Two balls, one strike. Pitch prior to that was called a ball. Amare to the plate, 2-1 curveball up in the zone for ball 3. It'll be Dieterding to follow Garza in the lineup for the Dragons from Lane College. Dieterding, the left fielder for the Dragons. 3-1 delivery here. This one swung on and missed. Good change of pace there by Amare from the hill to take it full at 3-2. Look at that wide stance there by Garza. And there's the pitch off the plate for ball 4. So third walk of this top half of the first. One hit batsman along with that. And the bases are full again for the Dragons of Lane. That'll bring up Nick Dieterding as Garza draws the walk. Love to get a ground ball here. Ideally, one right back to the mound to double things up and get out of this inning. 2-0 lead for the Dragons in Lane College as you take a look at Dieterding in the box. Dieterding under the Mendoza line at the plate. 157 batting average. Takes that first pitch over for a strike from Amari Morgan. Infield in tight. Alex Glass at third base and Evan Jones at first. Here's the pitch. Popped up. And behind third base, Glass looks like he's got a play there. Circles back to the field of play and squeezes it for out number 2. So Dieterding retired. And that's 2 out here in the top of the first inning. Yeah, it was a big pitch there and a big out for Amari Morgan. Now Jaden Garcia, the first baseman, steps into the box for the Dragons of Lane College. Amari can retire him here. A lot of traffic on the base paths, but only giving up 2. You'll take that. Curveball there and over for a strike as Garcia took that one. Good pitch from Amari. Amari ready with the pitch. The curveball again. Boy, nothing wrong with that one. Called off the plate there by Alvin King. Count at 1-1. 2 down. Top of the first, 2-0 lead for the Dragons of Lane College. Sophomore on the delivery there. Swung on back to the second baseman. Scoop there. Almost ran past that ball, but they got it on the flip. Morrow flipped it over to Devin, and they retired the Dragons in the top half of the first. But the Dragons put 2 across, so Tuskegee goes into the bottom half of the first, trailing 2-0. They will send up McLean, Lee, and Morrow, the first 3 for head coach Chadwick Hall after this timeout on GTSN.
Hello, Tuskegee fans. We are here to remind you. Staying up to date on all recommended vaccines is one of the safest preventative health care measures to protect you and your family from disease.
Many children and adults that delayed vaccination during the pandemic are still behind schedule.
That's why it's crucial to take the steps to get everyone back on track with their routine immunizations.
Golden Tigers fans, let's all do our part and get back on track.
Protect yourself and others by making sure you're up to date on all recommended vaccines.
And that includes respiratory virus vaccine.
Tuskegee fans, don't wait, vaccinate.
For more information,
visit alabamapublichealth.com/IMM.
To get aboard, become the first runner of the ball game for the Golden Tigers. Tuskegee gave up 2 in the top half of the first. Devin Lee, the shortstop, on deck. Kenny rocks and fires to 3-1. That one low, and McLean draws the walk for the Golden Tigers. Name of the game is base runners, so McLean is down at first. That'll bring up Devin Lee. Devin, the sophomore from Atlanta. See if he's bunting here, they'll give him the right to swing away. Devin, second team all-conference, .328 batting average. Throw back over the first, and Colin has to scramble back in there on the dive underneath the throw. McKinney on the mound. Trey Babbitt behind the plate for the Dragons in Lane College. You see Jaden Garcia there at third as you take a look at that throw back over, and Colin sliding underneath that. Ray Sobrino at second base for the Dragons. Gabriel Garza at short, and Casey Lockwood at third. That pitch low and outside for a ball to Devin Lee. In the outfield for the Dragons in Lane College, right to left is Eli Garcia in right, Deshaun Rogers in center, and Nick Dieterding out in left field for Lane College. Throw back over, and Collins sliding back in again, diving back in actually, under that throw. Kenny, the senior, is giving up 29 base on balls. On the steal there, Colin will have it for Tuskegee. Trying to exchange it to the throwing hand was Babbitt behind the plate, and he lost it there. So an easy swipe there, Colin McLean, and he's down at second base in scoring position for Devin Lee. Colin, that's his 6th stolen base of the season on 7 tries, so he's down at second, nobody out. Squaring the bunt now is Lee. Got a good one right back to the mound. Kenny only plays over the first base, and he drew the first baseman off the bag. So safe at first is Devin Lee. And actually covering on that was Ray Sobrino from second base, and he couldn't get there to the bag quick enough, and the throw was offline by Kenny. So Devin is safe down at first base, and over to the third goes Colin McLean for Tuskegee. Outfielder's choice by him, but Devin gets on the throwing area there on Kenny from the mound. So runners at first and third now, and that brings up the second baseman, Ryan Morrow. Ryan, .362 batting average, leads the Golden Tigers at the plate, 46 of 127, 35 RBI, and 61 total bases. He'll bunt it down the left the first base line. Ryan hustling down there. They'll get him, but crossing the plate, and it gets away as they try to throw it to Lee heading into third base, and Devin coming up, and he will go to the plate. So just like that, we are tied at 2 each. After one throwing error by Kennedy and a good bunt there by Ryan down the first base line, they retire him. But Colin crosses, and then they try to get Devin at third, and they throw that wide of third, and Devin scampers up and makes it home. Get this ball game tied at 2 each. And that'll bring up the third baseman, Alex Glass. So Morrow, McLean across, and Devin across. With one down. Alex, good cut of that fastball. Fouls it back to the screen. Alex, the senior from Birmingham, Alabama. Alex awarded the Hard Hat Award for Tuskegee baseball at the recent Sports Awards banquet on Thursday of this week. 0-1. That one in for a strike from Kenny. So he's ahead in the count. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 down here in the bottom of the first inning. Scott Williams, the designated hitter, set to come to the plate next. Glass, behind in the count, 0-1. And here's the pitch. This one swung on and missed, and Alex retired on a strikeout. So that's out number 2 here in the bottom of the first, and that'll bring up Scott Williams. Scott coming to the plate. His walk-up music is Scotty by Gucci Mane. Players get a chance to choose the music that they want to come up to home plate on. And Scotty taking Scotty. Scott Williams took a look at a low pitch, but Kenny got the benefit of a low call there from Alvin King behind the plate for strike one. Tied at 2 each, bottom of the first. Kenny from the stretch fires. This one swung on and right back up the middle there and down out in the center field. So Scott Williams continues his impressive work at the plate, drives one right back up the middle, and he's aboard with 2 down. That'll bring up the left fielder, Jabari Johnson. Jabari been on fire from the plate lately for Tuskegee, coming in with a .333 batting average. Slugging percentage at .522. And he'll come aboard with Scott Williams down at first base. Jabari, the sophomore from Douglasville, Georgia. Kenny rocks and fires. This one fastball over for a strike. First baseman Evan Jones on deck for Tuskegee. 2 down here, bottom of the first inning. Tuskegee's tied this ball game at 2-2. That pitch in tight and backs Jabari off the plate. Make it 1-1 on the count. Kenny on the 1-1. This one swung on and missed. Kenny with a lot of gas on his fastball. Jabari going to catch up with that one. Missed on the pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 down, bottom of the first. Scott Williams down at first base. Kenny with the pitch. Scott going. That pitch low. Throw down and high on the throw down to second. And Scott Williams steals second base. And he's in scoring position now with 2 down. So Jabari now facing a 2-2 count. He'll step back in. Kenny with the pitch. This one swatted out. Base hit out in the left field. Knocker there by Johnson. He'll turn the corner. They'll send Williams to the plate. Scott in, standing up. Tuskegee takes a 3-2 lead. And down to second base, another wide throw. And Scott getting up, or this is Jabari headed over the third. He'll dive and slide in over there. So Tuskegee with some aggressive base running and a couple of throwing errors by the Dragons of Lane College. And the Golden Tigers have struck here in the bottom of the first. They lead it 3-2. Scott Williams got on a single, stole second. Jabari with a thunderous base hit out in the left field, scored Scott from second base. And as they try to get Scott at the plate, they threw that wide and then headed over to down at second was Jabari. They threw the throw wide down to second, so he took third. So Jabari stands at third after a couple of throwing errors, and Tuskegee leads it 3-2, and that brings up the first baseman, Evan Jones. Evan, the senior from Tuscaloosa. Kenny with the pitch. Evan couldn't hold up there on that first pitch. He'll take it for a strike. Kind of a half swing there by the first baseman. So Jabari at third base. Tuskegee up 3-2. Kenny didn't enjoy his 2-0 lead very long. Here's a pitch. That one in tight for ball 1. Flirting with that inside corner on a fastball. Off the plate, though. Evan, .243 batting average. Here's the pitch from Kenny, and that one finds the zone for strike 2. Splitting a plate with a fastball. Jabari Johnson at third, looking to be picked up. 1-2 delivery to Evan. This one swatted wide of third and foul. Just in front of the Tuskegee bench. It's Marion Ward, the catcher, on deck for the Golden Tigers. If Evan can get aboard and drive in Jabari from third. 1-2. Kenny rocks and fires. This one swung on and missed by Evan Jones to retire Tuskegee in the bottom of the first, but the Golden Tigers push across 3, and they lead it 3-2. We head to the top of the second. Welcome back, everybody. We're live here at Washington Field on the Golden Tiger Sports Network. Tuskegee with a very productive bottom half of the first. They put 3 across. They lead it 3-2 over the Dragons of Lane College. It's set to go into the top of the second inning. It'll be Ray Sobrino at the plate for the Dragons of Lane College. Congratulations to the Golden Tigers men and women's tennis teams in the SIAC championships over the weekend. Semi-final action today. The women advance to the championship round tomorrow. They beat Spring Hill today 5-2 in women's tennis action. And the men knocked off Benedict 4-0. And they will advance to the championships tomorrow as well. The women will face the Golden Rams of Albany State. And the men in tennis action will meet the Badgers of Spring Hill. That's up in Peachtree City, Georgia. A chance to check them out in tennis championship action tomorrow. And congratulations to Coach Greg Green, being named the Women's SIAC Coach of the Year. 3-2 lead for Morgan. He'll start Sobrino off with a curveball, but that one's out of the zone for ball one. Now Amari with his first lead of the ball game. Let's see how he handles that from the hill. This one, curve fastball there, just missed part of the plate there, and the count at 2 balls, no strikes. Sobrino, .214 batting average, 12 of 56 batting as he steps in. Curveball, and that's off the plate on the inside. So Amore back behind in the count now, 3 balls and no strikes. Sobrino back to the top of the order with Babbitt following him. Curveball, a 4-pitch walk there to Sobrino. That's the last thing you want when you're able to come back and have a lead to start the second inning when your offense just rallied and gave you a lead. So Sobrino's aboard with a walk. And that'll bring up Trey Babbitt, the catcher. Morgan see if he can't coax a ground ball here to perhaps swing a double play. Tuskegee on the season, 13 double plays as a team. That pitch off the plate to the catcher Babbitt. Good curveball there from Morgan. Finds his zone there to take it to 1-1. Glass playing pretty tight at the corner at third. Evan at first having to hold Sobrino there. Curveball there, floated across again by Morgan. Good pitch. Wide gap there between first and second base Ryan Morrow, with Evan having to hold the runner there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Amare to the plate with the pitch. Swung and missed. As Babbitt trying to catch up with that fastball, a little late doing that. First, second strike out of the ball game for Morgan, and that'll bring up the center fielder Deshaun Rogers for the Dragons Lane College. Rogers got aboard in that first inning with a walk, back-to-back walks to start the ball game by Morgan. Rogers squaring to bunt it, and bunted it foul outside of the first baseline. Saul Gonzalez on deck for the Dragons of Lane College. Sobrino down at first, drew the walk. Babbitt retired on the strikeout. No balls, 1 strike, curveball. Alvin King thought about it, but no call. That'll take it to 1-1. Amare count even. There's a pitch swatted wide of third, and that'll make it 1-2. Interesting to see what the pitch selection will be here from Morgan and Ward as they get together here ahead in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 down, top of the second. Amare with the pitch. Swung on. Swatted down the line, but wide of the chalk in left field by Rogers. Rogers hit it hard. Drove it to the fence line. But back to the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sobrino down at first. Morgan looking for a strikeout here. Here's the pitch. Curveball swung on and popped up. Out in right field, giving chase. Looks like you may have some room over there as Brooks and Jacoby runs that down for out number 2. 346 down the line in right field. Plenty of room there for Jacoby to circle up under that one for out number 2. So that'll bring up Saul Gonzalez, the designated hitter. He singled his last time up to drive in the first 2 runs of the ball game for the Dragons of Lane College. Morgan would love to retire him here in this top half of the second. Tuskegee with a 3-2 lead. Amare to the plate with the pitch. Fastball on the inside corner. Nice selection. Good pitch there from the sophomore for strike 1. So quickly ahead in the count. Peering in the Ward, and they're set on the pitch here. Curveball swung on and missed. Good change of pace there. And Gonzalez behind in the count. Morgan up. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, top of the second. Must wins here for Tuskegee as they start this series with the Dragons of Lane College. Morgan with the pitch. Curveball popped up. And Glass taking a look at it. But this one's going to be just behind us and out of play. Don't believe the crowd to our left saw that baseball. They were very calm about it coming over their way. Nobody scattering. So Amare ahead in the count now. No balls, 2 strikes, and here's the delivery to the plate. Curveball chopped on and wide of first base by Gonzalez. So back to first goes Sobrino. And Gonzalez at the plate. Amare ahead in the count to him. No balls, 2 strikes, trying to see if he can't retire the sophomore designated hitter for the Dragons of Lane. 0-2 pitch coming here from Morgan. Good pitch, chopped on. Another one looks like it's out of play left side, and it is. That one got the tree line just behind the supply shed for Tuskegee baseball. First time we have baseball under the lights here on the Golden Tiger Sports Network. Morgan with the pitch, curveball. This one again wide of first base. And the battle between Morgan and Gonzalez continues. Sobrino re-racks it back to first base. For curveball here from Morgan. See here with 0-2. Up in the zone, they went with a fastball. Gonzalez able to stay put and the count to 1-2. Garcia would be next for the Dragons. 1-2 delivery here, curveball. This one looped out into right field, out of play toward the fence line, and running out of room there is Jacoby. And the count will remain 1-2. Good long effort there by Jacoby out in right field, all the way to the fence line. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Throw over the first. They chase Sobrino back. Babbitt struck out. Rogers flew out to right field. Gonzalez. Several foul-offs here in this battle with Morgan on the mound. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Amari peering back over the first base. And we got a timeout over there. As Sabrino may have taken some dirt, trying to clear the cobwebs as he kind of slid back in there on that throw. He'll get the helmet back on and ready to play now. Gonzalez steps back in. Amare towing the rubber for Tuskegee. 1-2 count, 2 down, top of the second. Here's the 1-2 for Morgan. This one out into center field. On the run now, circling is McLean. He'll throw up the brakes and throw the glove up and makes the catch for out number 3. So good job there by the sophomore Amari Morgan to retire the Dragons here. Top of the second, they get a man aboard, but they leave him there. We head to the bottom, Tuskegee with a 3-2 lead.
Broadcast coverage of Tuskegee Athletics on the Golden Tiger Sports Network is brought to you by Alabama Department of Public Health. Healthy people, healthy communities, healthy Alabama. Booster Digital Displays, dedicated to providing high-quality, affordable LED displays with exceptional service. TNT Fireworks, celebrating more than 100 years of America's #1 best-selling brand of fireworks. Alabama Power, developed for the service of Alabama. Wind Creek Casino, Montgomery. Elevate your game to fabulous. The Home Depot, more saving, more doing. Coca-Cola, real magic. Zuby's Taco Kitchen, Yellowwood. And by Vibes Restaurant, we're all about good vibes. Utilities Board of Tuskegee. Purpose, progress, people.
Back live at Washington Field, bottom of the second, TU with a 3-2 lead over the Dragons in Lane College. First of 3 in a weekend series. Glad you could join us here on GTSN. Back here tomorrow with doubleheader action beginning at 1 o'clock. Kenny fires this pitch. Samarian Ward takes that one down low in the dirt. They ask for some help down the line from Alexander Ahmad. Down at first base, he said that Ward did not go, so the count at 1 ball, no strikes. Ward on the season, .257 batting average for the Golden Tigers. Takes a look at that pitch, which is right on the corner of the plate for strike 1. It'll be Ward followed by Jacoby Brooks, then back to the top of the order with Colin McLean. This one swung on to the third baseman. Lockwood fields and fires across the diamond, and they retire Ward on the 5-3 put out. So Jacoby coming to the plate now, the freshman. .284 batting average. Showed his glove on a couple of plays in the outfield already. See what he can do here with the stick. Tuskegee leading 3-2. We're in the bottom of the second. Kenny with the pitch. This one, line drive over the shortstop. Comes Garza and into center field for a base hit. Baseball solidly struck there by Brooks, and he's aboard for Tuskegee on a base hit out in the center field. So back to the top of the order. Colin McLean, he drew a base on balls first time up in the bottom of the first. 1 down, he'll be followed by Devin Lee in the lineup for the Golden Tigers. Kenny with the pitch. Squaring the bunt there was Colin. Took it off the plate. Oh, he called that one a strike, though. Kenny from the stretch, getting his lead there at first base at Brooks. There's his pitch on a line drive down the line, just inside the chalk by Collins. It'll be a sprint race here. Baseball angles back up top, and they'll already have one across with Brooks streaking. And at third base, sliding in there, is Colin McLean. So McLean flirting with the chalk down the first base line, kept it on the inside and gets rewarded with the RBI as Brooks scored from first base. And over at third is McLean. Stand-up triple there on that play by Colin. Got it just inside the chalk beyond first base, way down in the outfield. It rolled toward the tarp and then took a kick right back toward the lane dugout. And Tuskegee's runner is able to just run for days there with Jacoby scoring and Colin all the way over the third base. So he stands at third with one down for the shortstop, Devin Lee. Devin took the first pitch over for a strike. This one swung on and on the ground. Covered there by Lockwood, bounced it over the first, and a throwing error there, threw it over the head of Garcia. And scoring on the play is Colin, and down the second base goes Devin Lee for Tuskegee. So it was smothered by Lockwood at third. Had plenty of time on the throw, just could not get it across the diamond. So Devin at second base. And Tuskegee now with a 5-0 lead as McLean came across. 5-2 lead, I beg your pardon. And that'll bring up Ryan Morrow. Ryan recognized for the academic award for Tuskegee baseball with the team's highest GPA. I didn't even know this was possible. He had a 4.0. That's perfect. Ryan took an intelligent look at that first pitch, which was called a ball. One down. Devin Lee at second base. TU up 5-2. They put 2 across already in this inning, along with the 3 in the bottom of the first. Kenny to the plate. Curveball in tight on Ryan for ball 2. Alex Glass, a third baseman, on deck, followed by Scott Williams. Scott playing DH this afternoon for the Golden Tigers. Lee at second. Here's the pitch. That one over for a strike as Ryan took the first strike of the sequence here. That'll make it 2 balls and 1 strike with 1 down, bottom of the second. Two-one delivery by Kenny. That one in tight, trying to steal third, sliding in there, and picked off at third base is Devin Lee. Chadwick Hall, the head coach, signaling safe at third. So was Devin Lee. But Alexander Ahmad, with no conversation about that at all, heads back down the first base line, and Devin gets caught stealing at third. So he's retired. And Ryan to the plate with 2-2 now. Nobody aboard. 2-2. This one swung on and missed by Mo. And that'll retire Tuskegee here in the bottom of the second. But the Golden Tigers come across with a couple more runs. They extend their lead to 5-2 as we head into the top of the third. Garcia, Lockwood, and Garza, the next 3 up for Lane College.
Broadcast coverage of Tuskegee Athletics on the Golden Tiger Sports Network is brought to you by Alabama Department of Public Health. Healthy people, healthy communities. Healthy Alabama. Booster Digital Displays, dedicated to providing high-quality, affordable LED displays with exceptional service. TNT Fireworks, celebrating more than 100 years of America's #1 best-selling brand of fireworks. Alabama Power, developed for the service of Alabama. Wind Creek Casino, Montgomery. Elevate your game to fabulous. The Home Depot, more saving, more doing. Coca-Cola, real magic. Zuby's Taco Kitchen, Yellowwood. And by Vibes Restaurant, we're all about good vibes. Utilities Board of Tuskegee. Purpose, progress, people.
Golden Tigers with a 5-2 lead as we head into the top of the third for the Dragons of Lane College. Eli Garcia, the right fielder, followed by Casey Lockwood, third baseman. Lockwood with a little bit of difficulty in the field. Throwing error there in the bottom of the second. Allowed Tuskegee at least one of those runs. Morgan, first pitch over for a strike to Garcia. Garcia hit by a pitch last time he was up. Morgan starts him with a strike here. This one swung on and wide of third base, and Amari ahead in the count 0-2. Still a little bit of daylight left here in the Tuskegee area. Lights already on here at Washington Field. 0-2 pitch from Morgan. Curveball swung on and that wide of third as well. Just kind of lunging out there to stay alive. Tuskegee 10th in the SIAC in the standings. Need to bounce up to at least 8 to get into the SIAC tournament first week of May. 0-2 fastball off the plate for ball 1. Spring Hill number 1, Savannah State 2, Edward Waters 3, Albany State 4. Benedict at 5th, Miles 6, Lane, this team, at 7. 1-2, that one short of the plate on a change of pace. And the count to 2-2. Lanes followed by Clark Atlanta at number 8 and Morehouse at number 9. Tuskegee then at 10. Tuskegee recognizing that they have got to take care of their own business by defeating the Dragons 3 times. This one, chopper, Glass waits for it to come down, fires across the diamond, and Evans stretching for it, but he can't come up with the baseball. So aboard is Garcia. Oh, that high chop there will give that a first single for him. And he's aboard for the Dragons of Lane College. Alex had to wait for that one to come down at third base. So Garcia aboard for the Dragons to start their third. Casey Lockwood, the third baseman now, at the plate. Going on the first pitch, this one popped up and out of play. Just behind the Tuskegee dugout. So Lockwood down in the count, and Garcia was going on that first pitch. He'll have to backtrack as that ball was fouled off. From the stretch, Morgan took a pitch, throw down, good throw there, and the tag applied and out down at second base. Amarian Ward with an excellent throw from behind the plate. And there was called a strike on Lockwood as well. So Tuskegee got double the bargain there. Lockwood strikes out, and a strike down to second base on the throw from Ward behind the plate retires Garcia. So that's the double play the hard way for the Golden Tigers. So 2 down here now for the Dragons in the top of the third. Just a wonderful throw by Ward from behind the plate. Spot on with it. Third base coach, head coach Jeff Della Concha asking what the call was down at second. And Alexander Ahmad really able to oblige him by saying, yeah, he was called out. So Tuskegee with some good defensive work there. Morgan on the mound with the K, and the throw by Ward from behind the plate. 2 down, top of the third. Pitch over but low to Gabriel Garza, the shortstop. Garza got a base on balls in the top of the first. His first time through the batting order. Pitch here. This one bounced up there for ball 2. Pitching coach for the Golden Tigers now headed to the mound. Have a conversation with Amari. They're up 5-2. Likely this conversation's about relaxing. Let that defense do a little bit of work for you. You don't have to be perfect on your pitches. Just get it, make them lunge a little bit, and get it in play. See what that defense does for you. Good shot of the conference at the mounds. Marion Ward, along with Amari Morgan and Coach Jackson there as they all confer. Tuskegee with a 5-2 lead, 2 down, top of the third. Dragons, the number 7 team in the SIAC. Tuskegee can really build its confidence. They can win here and take the 2 tomorrow over the number 7 team in the conference. TU got to bounce up to the top 8 with 1 series in front of them to make it to the SIAC tournament. Amari behind in the count, 2 balls, no strikes. Pitch here up and out of the zone for ball 3. Nick Dieterding on deck for the Dragons. That pitch finds the plate for a strike there from Amari. So they count to 3-1. Good look there over the shoulder. And Amari to the plate. This one swung on and fouled off at the plate. So the count now back at full. Good work by Amari to battle back against Gabriel Garza, the shortstop. Just a quality pitch here. Get you out of it. Three-two pitch, curveball chopped on and fouled off right side behind the Dragon dugout, so it stays at 3-2. Tuskegee got a double play here after a strikeout and a throw out down at second base. Payoff pitch here from Morgan. Curveball. And took it on the inside to Garza for a ball. King looked at it for a moment, but Garza's aboard for the second time with a walk. This time in the top of the third. That'll bring up the left fielder, Nick Dieterding. Dieterding flew out behind third base his last time up. And Morgan would like the same result this time around, on out of some variety. Tuskegee with a 5-2 lead. We're in the top of the third. Throw over the first. And diving back in there is Garza. Good look there from the third base camera. Evan Jones holding Garza at first. This is exactly what Amari sees. Curveball there, bounced up there, got away from Ward, and down the second base goes Garza. So to all pitch there on Morgan sends Garza down to second. And now a chance to concentrate on this batter, Nick Dieterding. Amari set for the pitch to the plate. Looking at Garza. Here's the pitch up in the zone for ball. Two down, top of the third. Morgan to the plate. And that pitch in tight and off the plate for ball 2. Top of the third, nobody warming in the Tuskegee bullpen. Tuskegee with a 5-2 lead. Amari just got to work his way through this minimal traffic here in the top of the third. Walked Garza. Here's a pitch here. That's over for a strike. Got to make these Dragons prove it at the plate. Dieterding only 157 batting average. Can't pitch around him. You got to challenge him. You want to be up in the count on it. Three-one. And to the plate, going on the pitch. This one swung on and fouled on a hit and run there. Fouled off right side by Dieterding. So back to second goes Garza. So count run to full now. See if Amari can find the payoff pitch here to get out of this. Two down, top of the third. From the stretch. Sophomore to the plate with the pitch. This one driven out into the center field and barely having to move out of his tracks is McLean. Throws up the glove. Baseball parachutes in it, and that ends the top of the third. Dragons threaten to get a man on board with a base on balls, but no danger to Tuskegee. They lead 5-2. We head to the bottom of the third.
Hello, Tuskegee fans. We are Tuskegee University basketball, and we are here to remind you.
Staying up to date on all recommended vaccines is one of the safest preventative health care measures to protect you and your family from disease.
Many children and adults that delayed vaccination during the pandemic are still behind schedule.
That's why it's crucial to take the steps to get everyone back on track with their routine immunizations.
Golden Tigers fans, let's all do our part and get back on track.
Protect yourself and others by making sure you're up to date on all recommended vaccines.
And that includes respiratory virus vaccine.
Tuskegee fans, don't wait, vaccinate.
For more information,
Visit alabamapublichealth.com/IMM.
Baseman Alex Glass set to come to the plate for the Golden Tigers in the bottom of the third. 3 across in the first for Tuskegee, 2 in the second. Trying to see if they can't put another crooked number here in the bottom of the third. Kenny pitching from the stretch. That pitch swung on and missed by Alex. Alex struck out in the bottom of the first. Scott Williams on deck. Then Jabari Johnson. Scott singled his last time up. Drove in a couple of runs as a result. This one swung on, chopped on. That'll be a fair ball. Now called a foul ball there by Alvin King at the plate. I think it got the foot of Alex Glass. And you see Alex just limping a little bit as he heads back to home plate. Nothing like the sting of that baseball coming off a bat on a foot or an ankle. Alvin King asking him if he's okay. Alex trying to compose himself before he steps back into the box. Down in the count, no balls, 2 strikes. Nobody aboard, bottom of the third. Kenny from the stretch, readies and fires. That pitch off the plate for ball 1. Kenny got an electric arm for the Dragons of Lane College. But so far, Tuskegee has been on that fastball. One, 2. This one swatted toward third. High hop there. Garza can't field it. And Alex limping down the line for Tuskegee. He's aboard. And we'll see if they get a pinch runner for him because he's hobbling just a bit as you see him headed back to first base. Took that ball on, you see him pointing to the inside of his ankle. Alex going to tough it out and stay at first base, but took a shot there when he fouled one off of his foot. But Garza not up to the challenge on that ground ball as they throw back over there to keep Alex close. So Scott to the plate now. The designated hitter takes a pitch down low for a ball. Williams with a couple of RBI on a single in the bottom of the first. Glass at first. Here's a pitch. Swung on and missed by Scott Williams. Scott fooled on that one. Was looking for a fastball. Got a breaker. Count goes to 1-1. Throw back over the first. That got away from the first baseman and headed down to second baseman is Alex. And he'll go in standing up. So Kenny on the throw over the first to keep Alex Glass close. Threw it away from the first baseman Garcia, and Alex down to second. So Glass down at second, nobody out, bottom of the third. At the plate, Scott Williams. Count at 1-1. Perfect situation here for Williams. Here's the delivery. Swung on out in the right field. Coming in on that play is Garcia, and he will make the grab out in right field. So not able to advance on the fly ball to right field was Glass, so he will hang tight down at second. So Scott Williams trying to hit behind the runner. Got part of that job done, just not able to get the ball down for a base hit. So that'll bring up Jabari Johnson. Jabari tripled his last time out for Tuskegee. And swats at the first pitch for a strike. Got away from the catcher Babbitt for just a moment, but not able to advance down at second base is Alex, so he'll stay there. One down, bottom of the third. Tuskegee with a 5-2 lead. Third baseman Alex Glass down at second after he got out on an error from the shortstop. Throw back to second base, and that one gets away and almost into right field, but backing up on the play was Sobrino, the second baseman. Dragons of Lane College, a little bit careless in the defensive side of things in terms of their throws in this ball game. Kinney with the pitch, curveball over, but beyond the strike zone. Crossed the plate, but well after near the catcher's mitt for a ball. So the count to 1-1. Here's a pitch. This one fouled back. Good cut there by Jabari Johnson at the plate for Tuskegee. Evan Jones, the first baseman, on deck for the Golden Tigers. Glass at second. 1-2 for Kinney. And he sets and delivers. This one swatted out to center field. Or beg your pardon, out to left field. As Dieterding got a beat on that with the catch. And the throw in the third, and having to hold at second base is Alex. So Johnson flies out to left field. And that'll bring up Evan Jones. Evan struck out his last time up in the bottom of the first. Got a runner in scoring position here. Great opportunity for Evan to drive him in. Jones tied for first on the team in home runs with 4. Great to launch one here. 2-run shot. Kenny to the plate. Pitch swung on and missed by Evan. Evan over the top of that fastball, which was diving by Kenny. Bottom of the third, TU up 5-2. Must-win ball game for Tuskegee. Kenny with the pitch. This one swatted and out the left field. Dieterding, a couple of steps to his left, circles, throws up the glove, and makes the catch. So Evan flies out the left field, and Tuskegee leaves a runner stranded at second base. We head to the top of the fourth. TU with a 5-2 lead.
Broadcast coverage of Tuskegee Athletics on the Golden Tiger Sports Network is brought to you by Alabama Department of Public Health. Healthy people, healthy communities, healthy Alabama. Booster Digital Displays, dedicated to providing high quality, affordable LED displays with exceptional service. TNT Fireworks, celebrating more than 100 years of America's #1 best-selling brand of fireworks. Alabama Power, developed for the service of Alabama. Wind Creek Casino, Montgomery. Elevate your game to fabulous. The Home Depot, more saving, more doing. Coca-Cola, real magic. Zuby's Taco Kitchen, Yellowwood. And by Vibes Restaurant, we're all about good vibes. Utilities Board of Tuskegee. Purpose, progress, people.
Washington Field. Golden Tigers with a 5-2 lead. Substitute batter now for the Dragons in Lane College. Michael O'Neill, the redshirt freshman from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, steps in. 148 batting average for him. He'll be batting in Garcia's place in the lineup in the 8th spot. He'll be followed by Sabrino. First pitch, Morgan starts him off with a fastball over for a strike. So O'Neill in there at the box for the Dragons, and he pops one up behind the plate. Ward circles, makes the catch just in front of the Dragon dugout. So McNeil retired on the pop-up to the catcher. And we go back to Ray Sabrino. Sabrino got on a base on balls in the 2nd inning. And back to the top of their order with Babbitt on deck. Morgan would love to go 1-2-3 inning here. Curveball on as he starts out Sabrino, but that one's off the plate for ball 1. They got 2 off of Morgan in the first, but he's hung zeros since then. Curveball, good pitch there from Amari across for the strike. Even at 1-1 on the count. 1 down. This one chopped on and right back our way. And Amari ahead in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Three strikeouts in the game so far for Morgan. Pitch here. Ooh. Take there by Sabrino. And the count at 2-2. Good looking pitch from here. But it's even instead. Morgan rocks and fires on the 2-2. Curveball there. Didn't get the full distance on that one. Stopped short of the plate, so the count full at 3-2 now. Good to have an inning with the bases free. 3-2 count. Morgan with the pitch, curveball in tight, and there's a walk. And Sabrino is aboard for the Dragons of Lane College. So he'll take his base at first, and Trey Babbitt to the plate now for Lane. Babbitt drew a walk to start the ball game off. Rogers followed him with a walk, and they eventually scored the 2 runs for the Dragons of Lane. We're in the top of the 4th here, 1 down. Babbitt at the plate. Here's the pitch. Curveball over from Morgan for strike 1. Tuskegee getting a little bit of activity down in its bullpen. Try to See if we can make out who that is down there. That pitch bounced up there. How about Ward with the stop behind the plate for Tuskegee, sliding over out past the left-handed batter's box to make that stop, to keep it in front of him. Count to 1-1. That's a good defensive effort there. Holding that runner at first base. And looking back over that way now is Morgan. Sobrino at first. They throw back over there to Chase and back. One from the sophomore. No, throw back over the first instead. They chase Sobrino back to the bag. Curveball chopped out to right field, angling back towards center. And Brooks got a bead on it. He'll make the catch there for Tuskegee. Tuskegee with the quality outfield in terms of Brooks, McLean there today, and Johnson in left, covering a lot of ground so far in this baseball game. So the fly out to right field. It'll bring two down here in the top of the fourth, and it'll bring Deshaun Rogers to the plate for the Dragons of Lane College. Morgan with the pitch starts him off, and they throw it down the first base. Good block there by Evan Jones at first to stop that ball from going out in the right field. Went down to his knees to ensure that it didn't go out that way. That's Sobrino at first base. At the plate is Rogers. Morgan with the pitch. Curveball over. Good job there finding the inside corner of the plate with the curve. Froze Rogers in the box, and then it broke for the strike. Another one here is chopped on and fouled at the plate. So Morgan ahead in the count. Two down, top of the fourth. Amari with the pitch on the ground, dove for and knocked down by Lee. Didn't get on the left field, but he'll be on. Rogers will with that base hit to left in between third and short. Just hit at the perfect spot. On the dive was Glass. Alex couldn't get it, and it was too deep in the hole for Devin. So Rogers is aboard. And he'll move Sobrino down to second base. That'll bring up Saul Gonzalez, designated hitter for the Dragons. He drove in a run in that first inning for them. And Morgan to the plate with the pitch. This one lined out over the second baseman Morrow into right field. They'll cede the one run coming across the score, and a throw over the third. They won't have one there. So Gonzalez with a solid piece of hitting with a base hit out to right field. He will drive in Sobrino. And the Dragons cut into the Golden Tiger lead now 5-3. And Coach Chadwick Hall now taking a trip to the mound. And I don't see if he's signaling for replacement for Morgan on the mound. And he will. Looks like he's signaling for the right-handed pitcher coming out of the dugout. So Tuskegee has made a call to the bullpen. They lead at 5-3. We'll take a break and get you familiar with the new pitcher after the timeout.
Hello, Tuskegee fans. We are Tuskegee University basketball, and we are here to remind you.
Staying up to date on all recommended vaccines is one of the safest preventative healthcare measures to protect you and your family from disease.
Many children and adults that delayed vaccination during the pandemic are still behind schedule.
That's why it's crucial to take the steps to get everyone back on track with their routine immunizations.
Golden Tigers fans, let's all do our part and get back on track.
Protect yourself and others by making sure you're up to date on all recommended vaccines.
And that includes respiratory virus vaccine.
Tuskegee fans, wrong way, vaccinate.
For more information,
visit alabamapublichealth.com/INM.
Back live here at Washington Field. Tuskegee going to the bullpen now. It'll be the sophomore Rodney Mudd II. Rodney on this season, a 9.8 ERA. This will be his 10th appearance for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. 23 2/3 innings for Rodney. 27 hits, 29 runs, 30 base unballs, and 14 strikeouts for the sophomore from Stone Mountain, Georgia. And stepping in against Rodney, it'll be Eli Garcia. Garcia, the right fielder for the Dragons. They pushed one across already here in the top of the fourth. Cut the Golden Tiger lead to 5-3. And Rodney goes to work, bounces the first one up there, got past Ward, and Deshaun Rogers going to walk home from third base for the Dragons of Lane College. Down the second goes Gonzalez. And just like that, the Tuskegee lead now is down to 1. So the wild pitch results in a run and puts Gonzalez in scoring position. And Garcia ahead in the count. 1 balls, no strikes. 2 down, top of the fourth. Tough situation for Rodney to be called into the ball game with the runners at the corners. Bounce that first one up there, and he'll step off the plate here. Two across for the Dragons in the top of the fourth. Rodney to the plate, fastball over for a strike. Gonzalez singled to drive in one of the runs. Wild pitch got the other across. Rodney with the pitch, tight on the inside and low for ball. 2 balls, 1 strike. Rodney looks at second. Second look, none of the plate with the pitch. That one off the plate, Ward with the stop. That count will make it 3-1. Three-one delivery from Mudd. This one swatted on the ground and in between the legs of Glass at third base. Out into left field. Alex there on that baseball just didn't get the glove down soon enough. Went right between the legs. And now the Dragons with runners at the corners once again. So Garcia is aboard. And over the third goes Gonzalez, and at the plate, Casey Lockwood. 4-5 lead for the Golden Tigers, but the Dragons with runners at the corners now. And Rodney fires a pitch tight on the inside for ball 1. So 2 down, top of the fourth. Tuskegee with a 5-4 lead. Gonzalez at third. And Garcia at first for the Dragons. Rodney to the plate with the pitch on the inside corner for strike one. So the count to 1-1. Tuskegee has given up the 2 runs with 2 down in this inning. Trying to see if they can't hold it here. Rodney with the pitch. This one on the ground. Glass backpedals there, fills it, bounces it across the diamond, and Evan Jones can't come up with the catch there at first base. So the Dragons will push another across on a deep throw from across the diamond by Alex Glass. He tried to bounce it there in front of Evan, but Evan just not able to pull that baseball in at first base on the bounce throw from Glass at third. So the Dragons push the run across, and they bring this ball game even to 5 as Gonzalez crosses. And Lockwood will go down as a single for him. And now they'll have runners at the corners. Garcia got over there on the throw over. Pitch there to the plate, and that one's low as Gabriel Garza, the shortstop, took that one for ball 1. So we're even at 5 each in the top of the 4th. 2 down. That one bounced up there. Ward able to keep it in front of him. Rodney coming in relief of Amari Morgan. Difficult time of it so far. Here's a pitch here. This one swung on, tipped at the plate. And Rodney ahead in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Dragons with runners on the corners. Lockwood at first. And Garcia at third. 1-2. Rodney set to deliver that for Tuskegee. Here's a pitch. This one chopped on right back to the mound. Rodney going to flip it over to Evan at first, and they retire the Dragons. But the Dragons come on strong here in the top of the 4th. They push 3 across, and they tie the ball game at 5-5 as we head to the bottom of the 4th.
Broadcast coverage of Tuskegee Athletics on the Golden Tiger Sports Network is brought to you by Alabama Department of Public Health. Healthy people, healthy communities, healthy Alabama. Booster Digital Displays, dedicated to providing high-quality, affordable LED displays with exceptional service. TNT Fireworks, celebrating more than 100 years of America's #1 best-selling brand of fireworks. Alabama Power, developed for the service of Alabama. Wind Creek Casino, Montgomery. Elevate your game to fabulous. The Home Depot, more saving, more doing. Coca-Cola, real magic. Zuby's Taco Kitchen, Yellowwood. And by Vibes Restaurant, we're all about good vibes. Utilities Board of Tuskegee. Purpose, progress, people.
1-1 delivery by Kenny. This one swung on and missed by Ward. So he's down in the count 1-2. 5-5 your score. Bottom of the fourth. Ward singled his last time up. One-two pitch from Kenny. Off the plate for ball 2. Ward's followed by Jacoby Brooks in the Tuskegee lineup. Then back to the top. 2-2 from Kenny from the stretch and the pitch. Swung on and missed by Samarian, so he's retired on a strikeout there. So Brooks to the plate now for Tuskegee. And Jacoby eventually scored for the Golden Tigers after he singled in the bottom of the second inning. Takes a pitch there that brushes him back just a little bit from Kenny. This one swung on and missed. Jacoby swinging right through that. Fastball still very live from Kenny for the Dragons of Lane College. One pitch on the inside. That's called a strike there. Bailing out of there was a little bit by Jacoby, but that pitch broke across the plate for a strike. So Jacoby down in the count now, 1-2 strikes. See him brushing back there a little bit, but that was called on the inside corner by King for the strike. 1-2. That one on the inside, framing it for just a moment was Babbitt to see if he could get the call. But King goes the other way, count at 2-2. Two-two delivery here. This one swatted out to center field, down for a base hit. Jacoby, very patient at the plate there, turns and going to take second base, and he'll go in there standing up. So some difficulty fielding that ball out in center field by Rogers, and Jacoby took the opportunity to take second. Watch the hitting here, just straight out following that pitch. It was up the middle, and Jacoby drove it right back up the middle for the base hit. So as he's aboard at second base with one down, and they'll go back to the top of the order with Colin McLean. Colin tripled, and he got on a base on ball. So far, a real good night for Colin, inserted in that lineup by Coach Chadwick Hall. Down at second is Brooks. Tied at 5. Tuskegee trying to come back up on top. One down. Bottom of the fourth. Here's the pitch. And that one's at the knees for a call. Strike one on Colin. Good piece of hitting there by Jacoby. Kenny rocks and fires. That one over for a strike there. One down, bottom of the fourth. We're tied at 5. This one foul tipped and into the mitt of the catcher Babbitt. So that will retire McLean here in the bottom of the fourth on a strikeout, and that will bring up the shortstop Devin Lee. Devin trying to see if he can pick up Jacoby Brooks, who's down at second base. Jacoby with a hard single to center. Got to second on a throw out in center field. There's an errant play on the baseball out in center field to get down to second. Kenny with the pitch. This one swung on and up the middle there by Devin Lee. Good piece of hitting there by Devin. Bobbled again out in center field by Rogers. Devin stays put at first, and coming across the diamond to score, Jacoby Brooks for the Golden Tigers. So Tuskegee takes that lead right back. They're up 6-5 after the single up the middle by Devin Lee to deliver Brooks to the plate. The RBI for Devin. Good job by Devin to keep those hands back in the batter's box and waited on that fastball and drove it right up the middle for the base hit. That'll bring up Ryan Morrow, second baseman for the Golden Tigers. Ryan struck out his last time up. Takes a pitch there, low and off the plate for ball one. Devin at first base, 2 down, bottom of the fourth. They throw over that way and they throw the baseball away. Devin gets up and he'll go to second base on another throwing error. Thinking about third, he'll take a wide turn at second base. Now pumps the brakes and heads back to the bag. Well, we've seen that a lot for the Dragons of Lane College in this ball game. A lot of throwing errors by their defense. Tuskegee up 6-5. Ryan at the plate. Devin Lee at second. Kenny with the pitch. That one's over for a strike, even though Morrow backed out of there just a little bit. So count at 1-1 now. Ryan steps back in the box. Sophomore from St. Petersburg, Florida. Waiting the 1-1 from Kenny. This one chopped on high chopper at third. Fielded there, but no throw. I mean, well, he still got a throw there. Ryan slow down getting out of that box for Tuskegee. High chopper at third base. Lockwood almost out in left field when he fielded it and threw it across the diamond, and they still got Ryan by more than a couple of steps. And Tuskegee's retired here in the bottom of the fourth, but they push across a run. They take the lead back 6-5 over the Dragons of Lane College as we head into the fifth. We're back live here at Washington Field. Golden Tigers reclaim the lead as we head to the fifth inning over the Dragons of Lane College, 6-5. Last play for the out. Ryan with a high chopper to third. Just not able to leg that one out on a long throw by Lockwood across the diamond. And we head to the top of the fifth now. It'll be the bottom half of the order for the Dragons coming to the plate. Yeah, it looks like we're going to have a substitute batter for them. It's going to be Treshawn Hall, the senior from Hueytown, Alabama. Yeah, it looks like he's going to replace Dieterding in their lineup. Start this sequence. Dieterding batting seventh in their order. So Hall set to come on, a senior, to bat in his place. Rodney Mudd on the mound for the Golden Tigers. Hall, a 200 batting average for the Dragons of Lane College, 7 of 35 from the plate. Rodney pitching with a lead now. First pitch there to Hall. It's over for a strike. So Hall for Dieterding, and Garcia is already replaced in the lineup by Michael O'Neill, and he's on deck. Curveball looped up there, but way high. I think that one may have caught Alvin King in the chest protector. And Alvin walks about halfway to the mound. Tosses the baseball to Rodney. I don't think he said don't do it again, but caught him in the chest on that one, that's for sure. Lights on at Cleve Abbott Alumni Stadium to our right. I know they had the spring game on Saturday this past weekend. So this side of the athletic complex at Tuskegee University lit up. And Alvin King steps out. I heard a little bit of music in the background. Thought he was getting ready to do the electric slide for a minute there. Hall at the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike. Mudd with the pitch. This one shot out the left field. Not sure if the park's going to hold that one. That's a line drive shot. That hits the light pole and out of here. Line drive home run by Treshawn Hall, who's just inserted into the lineup for the Dragons of Lane College. And he will circle the bags with a home run here to tie the ball game at 6-6. Hall with his first home run of the season for the Dragons of Lane College, and he just crushed a fastball from Rodney Mudd way deep to left field. Thing would have still been going had it not hit the light pole. So we're tied again at 6-6. That'll bring O'Neill back up to the plate for the Dragons, and the Dragons a new life after that home run by Hall to left. Just jumped all over that pitch. Curveball there and didn't make the plate, so the count now 2 balls, no strikes. On O'Neill, he popped up behind the plate to Ward his last time up. Mudd with the pitch. Fastball in there for a strike. Rodney Mudd on the mound for Tuskegee. Take a look at his delivery there from the mound. It's kind of straight on there. Another pop up, this one coming back our way and out of play. Count at 2-2. Rodney doesn't get a lot of leg action in terms of push on his pitches from the mound. Mostly arm there. That curveball fouled back by O'Neill. Count remains 2-2. That one off the plate, and count run full at 3-2 on O'Neill. Nobody out, top of the 5th. Treshawn Hall just went deep left field to tie things up at 6 each. And Rodney set for a payoff pitch here to Michael O'Neill. 3-2 on its way. That one out of the zone for ball 4. So O'Neill is aboard with a walk. And that'll bring up Sobrino. Throw over the first, and they chase O'Neill back. Sobrino scored in the 4th. That pitch on the inside and ball there. So nobody out here in the top of the 5th. Throw back over the first. Evan Jones holding O'Neill close there for Tuskegee. Squaring to bunt is Sobrino, And here's the pitch, bunting it right in front of the plate. Rodney only played it first, just throws over there. Covering there is Evan at first for the out. And down to second base goes O'Neill for the Dragons of Lane College. So one down here in the top of the fifth. O'Neill down to second, sacrifice there by Sobrino. We go back to the top of their order, and that'll bring up Trey Babbitt, the second catcher. Rodney with the pitch there, in tight for ball one on a fastball. First of three this weekend. Golden Tigers of Tuskegee hosting the Dragons of Lane College. We'll have all the coverage for you for this ball game and the doubleheader slated tomorrow to begin at 1 o'clock. Pitch there, that one same result, just outside of the strike zone, near chest high, but ball two. O'Neill at second. We're tied at 6 each. Curveball over there by Rodney. Nice pitch from him to take it to 2-1. One down. Rodney to the plate. Another curveball. This one on in tight for a ball. Count to 3-1 now. Deshaun Rogers on deck for the Dragons of Lane. Rodney looked back to second. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Good pitch there. Babbitt trying to catch up with a fastball from Rodney. And Rodney pushes the count to full at 3-2. O'Neill at second. Rodney takes a look back there. Now to the plate with the pitch. 3-2, swung on, fouled off right side. Payoff pitch coming with one down. And Rodney steps off. Lead by O'Neill down at second. It was real wide that time as Devin had backed off, indicating they weren't going to try to throw behind him. 3-2 pitch here on the inside. And I think that pitch wound up hitting Babbitt on the inside, just inside the left arm. The indication by Alvin King. Should take a look at it on the replay here. He was set on the inside. Yeah, he said it got him on the right forearm underneath there. And he'll get the pass on the hit by pitch. So he's aboard. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Deshaun Rogers. Rogers takes a pitch there. Alvin King wasn't sure about the call from behind the plate. They asked Alexander Ahmad down at second if Rogers went on the swing. That crowd to our left is saying it was clear from their vantage point that Rogers did go. That pitch out of the zone there by Rodney. And the countdown, 2 balls, no strikes. One down, we're in the top of the fifth, tied at 6. Devin going to take the opportunity to come to the mound and give Rodney a couple of words. And Rogers will take the opportunity to go down the line to talk to the head coach as he gets set to come back to the box. One down here, top of the fifth inning, tied at 6. Rodney on the hill for Tuskegee. You replace Amari Morgan. Two runners aboard. Rogers just hit by a pitch. O'Neill down at second base. 2 balls, no strikes. There goes Babbitt that was hit by that pitch, and Rogers is in the box for the Dragons. Pitch up tight for a ball. So behind in the count 3-0 now. Rodney got a battle back here. Fastball inside corner for a strike. Count to 3-1, 2 aboard for the Dragons. Rodney with a look back to second, now to the plate. Pitch tight on the inside, and Rogers draws the walk. So now the bases are loaded for the Dragons of Lane College. The bullpen stirring for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee down to our left. And to the plate for the Dragons comes Saul Gonzalez. And he's had 2 base hits in this ball game. Both have resulted in runs for the Dragons of Lane College. And he'll come to the plate with the sacks loaded. O'Neill at third, Babbitt at second. First pitch to Gonzalez is out of the zone up high. And Rogers at first base. So no place to put Gonzalez. Dragons threatening to blow things open here. Here's the pitch. That one in tight. Gonzalez took that one for ball 2. Designated hitter for the Dragons of Lane College. Got no place to put him. You fall behind in this count, you're going to have to groove one at some point. Just not to give him a free pass. Here's a pitch here. That one off the plate for ball 3. So now 3 balls, no strikes. Got to get something near to entice Gonzalez, otherwise it's a free pass and a runner across. That one off the zone for a pitch walk, and the Dragons reclaim the lead after Gonzalez takes the walk down the first base. O'Neill will cross, and that'll put Babbitt at third, and Rogers down to second, and Gonzalez joins the base pads. He's at first. And now the right fielder, Eli Garcia, steps in. Garcia got on last time on an error by Glass at third. Bases loaded here. Here's the pitch. And that one's over for a strike. 1 down, top of the 5th. A lot of traffic on the bags for the Dragons of Lane College in this half inning. They take a 7-6 lead. And the pitch here, shot out to right field. Tracking that one is Brooks. Brooks catches up with it. Makes the out there, but tagging and scoring is Babbitt from third, and pushing up to third base is Rogers on the throw. So Babbitt's across, and now they'll have runners at the corners after the sacrifice fly by Garcia, the right field. And the third baseman, Casey Lockwood, steps in with the Dragons up 7-6 now. 2 down, top of the 5th inning. Throw over the first, good throw there, and they got him on the pickoff there, trying to get back in there with Gonzalez, and they got him leaning. So good throw from Rodney on the mound over to Evan with the tag, and Gonzalez is picked off at first base. But the Dragons, in this inning, they push across 2, and they lead it now 7-6 as you take a look at Gonzalez at first base, and the quick throw over there. Oh, boy, right on the top of the noggin there with the tag was Evan to retire Gonzalez. Good throw, good play there at first base. At the bottom of the 5th after this timeout. Bottom of the fifth, Tuskegee finds itself behind again to the Dragons in Lane College. Dragons with 2 across in the top half. They lead at 7-6. Kenny still on the mound. To the plate comes third baseman Alex Glass. Glass trying to get a board here to start things off in the bottom half. First pitch bounced up there by Kenny. So Alex will be ahead in the count. He'll be followed by Scott Williams. Scott at the designated hitter position today. Then Jabari Johnson and Evan Jones if anybody gets on. Tuskegee trying to answer the Dragons, who pushed across 2 in the top half. Pitch there, fastball at the knees on the corner for a strike. 1-1 delivery from Kenny. This one inside corner, strike as well. Changed the location on that. They started on that outside corner, got a strike there, went back to the inside and got another call. One-two count here to Alex Glass, the third baseman for Tuskegee. Kenny with the pitch. This one swatted out in the center field again. Alex limping once again with that left leg. He'll get a board for Tuskegee. But yeah, he hit that leg his last at bat on a swing where the baseball went right down to his left foot, and he's still favoring that leg now. Likely a situation here, they're going to have to get him out of the ball game. Noticeable limp headed down to first base that time. Tried to fight it off after he got hit by a foul ball at the plate before. But this time, boy, he was laboring getting down to first base. As you take a look at the pitch here and the swing, nice job by Alex on the contact, but watch him laboring to get out of the box there. After he made contact, he'll get that base hit out to center field. Stay square there, but yeah, it's just that left leg. That's where he had that problem. He got that shot off of the inside ankle at the plate his last time up. So he will come out of the ball game. But that's after he singles. And Tuskegee will have a pinch runner down at first base. Trying to make out that runner in just a second, but stepping to the plate is Scott Williams for Tuskegee. Kenny from the stretch. First pitch there. Swan fouled off right side by Scott. Dragons lead at 7-6. Pinch runner for Alex Glass at first base, taking a lead there. Scott Williams behind in the count. No balls, 1 strike. Kenny with the pitch. Going on the pitch and sliding in at second base and safe. So a runner in scoring position now for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. And right now, runner in scoring position, Scott Williams set to step back in for the Golden Tigers. One ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out, bottom of the fifth. Williams looks at a pitch off the plate. Count pushed to 2-2. Glass got a single. Labored getting to first base with the left ankle. Out of the ball game now. Substitute runner for him down at second after a stolen base. 1-2. Shot out to right field. That could get down in the gap. Scott with a good piece of hitting and pushes it all the way to the wall. Scott turning the corner at third, never looking back. He's on his way to third for Tuskegee. He'll be there standing up, gets the hold sign there. And he drives in Nicholas Pratt, who took the bag for Alex Glass after Alex was injured. And Pratt comes across to score for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. And Scott Williams just continues to be on fire from the plate for Tuskegee. Following that pitch, just drove it out the right field in the gap. Based it all the way to the base of the fence line there, and Scott able to run all the way around the third base, clearing Pratt, who scored, and he'll stay in that third with a triple for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. That is exactly how you do it. That's the TU way there. Came right back, and they're able to tie this ball game up after the triple by Scott Williams. So Scott at third. Conference at the mound breaks up, and that'll bring up Jabari Johnson. And Tuskegee with a chance to kind of come right back here and take the lead. Tied at 7-7 after Scott's work from the plate. He'll get the RBI, and Jabari steps in. And Scott Williams just 90 feet away at third base. Nobody out. And the pitch swung on. Foul ball deep left field. Will it stay fair? Looks like it's going to be wide of the foul pole, but no question about it. Jabari got all of that. What a deep foul ball. That thing over the tree line here at Washington Field. It just did not stay on the right side of the foul pole. Third base, Scott Williams, and Jabari resets it in the box for the Golden Tigers. Trying to push Tuskegee up by 2 with that swing. Kenny from the stretch and delivers. Pitch high and tight, count to 1-1. So Jabari has to push out of the box on that one. Tied at 7. Golden chance for TU here in the bottom of the 5th. Nobody out. Scott Williams at third. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed there by Jabari. Good fastball there from Kenny. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nicholas Pratt able to score on the triple by Scott Williams to tie it at 7. Kenny with the pitch, swung on, and Jabari comes up short on that one. Missed on the fastball, so he strikes out. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Evan Jones. Still only 1 down here in the bottom of the 5th for TU. Evan flew out to left field his last time up. Williams at third, waiting to be picked up. Here's the pitch, popped up, high, skying pop up just in front of the Tuskegee dugout, and this one will be just out of play on the back side of the dugout, actually. So everybody for the Dragons giving chase. Lockwood at third, Garza at short, pitcher Kenny coming in there, and the catcher Babbitt all headed over there toward that fence line, all to watch it go out of bounds. And Evan with another chance here from the plate for Tuskegee. Down in the count, no balls, 1 strike. Scott Williams stands at third. 1 down, bottom of the 5th. Tuskegee reclaiming that lead. Kenny with the pitch, swung on and missed by Evan. And Evan takes a pitch at the corner for strike 3. Good pitch there by Kenny to retire Evan. And to the plate now comes the catcher, Samarian Ward. So Ward to the plate for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee now. Tuskegee still trailing by a point now. Chance to tie this game up if Marion Ward can push Scott Williams across the plate. Kenny from the stretch with the pitch. This one chopped on by Ward and out of play right side. Scott able to drive in a run. And he'll stand at third here, just waiting to see if Ward can deliver. With 1 down, 2 down, swing and a ground ball to the shortstop. In the hole, Garza throws, but beating that out is Ward at first base. So Ward is able to drive in Scott Williams from third with a base hit to the shortstop in the hole. Garza had to go deep to get it. No chance of throwing Ward out at first base. That'll go down as a base hit, and Tuskegee ties the game up at 8 each. So Ward is aboard on the single, and Williams is across. So we're tied at 8. And that'll bring up Jacoby Brooks. Brooks looks at a ball to start this sequence. Throw over the first base, diving back in there is Ward. Brooks took a pitch there. That one over, but low from Kinney. And the count down to 2-1. Tied at 8 here in the bottom of the 5th. Tuskegee's answered to 2 by the Dragons in the top half. Pitch there off the plate for a ball. And something stirring there in the Dragon bullpen now to our right. Kinney from the stretch. Ward at first. Here's the pitch. That one over for a strike from Kinney. That will make it 3-1 now. Three-one delivery. This one chopped on the ground. Shortstop Garza can't get to it. It finds eyes and out in the center field for a base hit. So station to station, the Golden Tigers go on the single up the middle by Jacoby Brooks. So Jacoby just hitting it right back up the box, and he's aboard. Down to second goes Ward, and we go back to the top of the order. Colin McLean stepping in for Tuskegee. 8-8, bottom of the 5th. Dragons, the number 7 team in the SIAC. Tuskegee, number 10. And this one right now as close as it can be. McLean steps in. Kinney still from the stretch. 2 aboard for Tuskegee. 1 out, bottom of the 5th. And Colin swinging at that pitch, half-hearted on that one, was fooled on it. And he's behind in the count, 0-1. Kinney delivers. Curveball, that's over for the strike. No balls, 2 strikes. McLean swings and misses there for a strikeout. So that'll retire Tuskegee here in the bottom of the 5th. But the Golden Tigers punch 2 across, and they bring this baseball game even at 8 apiece. We'll take a break here to head into the 6th on GTSN. Back live here at Washington Field. Rodney Mudd continues on the mound for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. The offense answers for the Golden Tigers in the bottom of the fifth, ties it at 8-8, and we head into the sixth. Same two teams here tomorrow from Washington Field. 1 o'clock start. Doubleheader action on the network for you as Tuskegee in a series that they absolutely have to win. All of these ball games as a part of the series, as they have this one and then the Magicians of Lemoyne remaining in terms of conference play, series play for the remainder of the season, and trying to go from 10th to a minimum 8th to be able to play in the SIAC baseball tournament first week of May. Lockwood at the plate. He was at the plate when Gonzalez was picked off at first base to end the fifth inning for the Dragons of Lane College, and Lockwood takes the first pitch for a ball outside to start the top of the sixth. Rodney with that pitch, that's over for a strike to even things at 1-1. Lockwood, a strikeout victim in the bottom of the third, got on with a single in the fourth. 2 balls, 1 strike after that delivery from Rodney. Tuskegee with some defensive changes. Looking over the shoulder. This one out in the center field, back deep toward the fence line, but some room back there is McLean, and he'll circle under it, throw up the glove, and make the catch for Tuskegee. And they retire Lockwood on a long fly out to center field. That'll bring up the shortstop, Gabriel Garza. 1 down, top of the sixth. Glad you could join us here on a Friday afternoon or evening now here in Tuskegee. First chance for us to be under the lights here at Washington Field. First of many improvements for Washington Field, in addition to some of the things that have been done here over the last few years. Mudd with a pitch there. That one's over for a strike. Rodney squaring the bunt. They got it down the third base line. Gonna have to hurry on there. Flipping and throwing the first. What a bang, bang play there at third base. Good job there by Nicholas Pratt. Pratt coming in as a reserve after Glass injured his left foot running down the line, or even on the bat before that. But look at Glass on this play. Scooping it there and just flipping it over there. And Evan Jones with the catch. And they retire Garza down the line. Great play there at third base by Nicholas Pratt for Tuskegee. And the throw right on there to retire Garza. Good job. That's a good defensive gem there by Nicholas Pratt for the Golden Tigers. So that'll bring up Hall, who went deep his last time to left field for the home run. His first of the season. Curveball, and he'll take it on the inside corner for a strike. So 2 down here in the top of the sixth inning. It'd be great if Rodney could just go 3 up and 3 down here for Tuskegee. I don't believe they've had that all game long against the Dragons of Lane College. Pitch here on a curveball. That one's in tight and in for a ball. Count at 3-1 now for Hall. Mudd with the pitch. That one off the plate for a walk. They really didn't want to come in on Hall after Hall blasted that home run his last time up. So he'll get the pass here, and he'll be on board here in the top of the sixth with the walk. That'll bring up Michael O'Neill. O'Neill scored in the top of the fifth for the Dragons. Throw over the first, and diving back in there is Treshawn Hall. Rodney works from the stretch, throw over again. This one a little bit closer, but Hall underneath the throw and back safe at first. Tied at 8, top of the 6th. Here's the pitch, in there for a strike from Rodney. When Rodney commits to the pitch, he has a lot better results for Tuskegee in terms of just a full throttle throw. That pitch down low for a ball. Even at 1-1, 2 down, top of the 6th inning. Or even on the scoreboard as well at 8-8. Runner going, throw down, Ward trying to get it down on that backside, and sliding in under the throw that time is Hall. Not a bad throw there by Ward on the right side of the bag, but Ward able to beat the throw down, and he's at second base. So a little bit of aggressive base, Hall that is, I beg your pardon. He's down on the stolen base. Ward with a good throw, though. And now Lane with a runner in scoring position with 2 down, top of the 6th inning. 1-2 count to O'Neill. Bounced up there, but a good stop by Ward behind the plate to keep it in front of him and keep Hall planted at second base. Mudd with a 1-2 count, trying to get out of the top of the 6th here with no damage. 2 down, and here's the pitch. That one's over but low. And that'll take the count now to even or full at 3-2. So a payoff pitch coming here to McNeil with Hall down at second base. 3-2 pitch. That one's ball 4. So O'Neill is aboard with a walk. And that'll bring up Ray Sobrino. Sobrino walked in the top of the 4th. And a sacrifice in the top of the 5th. 2 down, 2 aboard. First pitch over for a strike from Mudd to Sobrino. Under the lights here at Washington Field, we're in the top of the 6th inning. That pitch just off the plate there. When tried to go to that same area with the pitch.
Hey, good spot there.
Count to 1-1. Yeah, good pitch there from Rodney Mudd, and good call there from Ward on that pitch selection. And they get ahead in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Just need an out pitch here. Tied at 8, top of the 6th, going to keep it there. Rodney looks to second, steps off the rubber. Hall down at second base, and McNeil over at first. Sobrino at the plate. Rodney ahead in the count on him at 1-2. Here's the pitch. Going trying to steal third, throw over at third. They got a tag there and out at third base. They got Hall trying to steal third on another good throw there by Samarian Ward. He just stepped out and gunned that down to third base. And there you see Hall at third pleading his case. But all the jurors have gone home. We head to the bottom of the 6th, still tied at 8-8, as the throw down at third base is true, and the tag there by Nicholas Pratt on Hall to retire the Dragons in the top half. More baseball after this timeout. Back live here at Washington Field. We head into the bottom of the 6th inning. And the pitcher for the Dragons, Ryan Kennedy, has fired his last bullet of the ball game. He's being replaced on the mound now. Looks like it's going to be Anderson Jorge, a freshman from Lake Alfred, Florida, transferred from Voorhees into Lane. Line on Jorge is 3.1 ERA. One loss on the season. This will be his 15th appearance for the Dragons of Lane College. 31 innings pitched for Lane. And he will be replacing Devin Lee, or pitching to Devin Lee, to start things off here in the bottom of the 6th inning, tied at 8. Devin took the first pitch off the plate for ball 1. And looks at another ball as he spits on. That one's off the plate as well, so the count now is 2-0. 34 hits on the season for Jorge and 19 base on balls with 29 strikeouts. He's a freshman. And he delivers that one over the plate for a strike to take the count to 2-1. Now Devin will get ready for the Golden Tigers. Wanted to see what was coming his way. Seen a few fastballs from Jorge. 2-1 delivery. This one up in the plate off the zone for a 3-1 count now. Three-one delivery from Jorge. That one chopped on and a line drive shot out the left field by Devin Lee. He'll circle first base. Pump back to the bag after a good clean base hit to start the bottom of the 6th for the Golden Tigers. That'll bring up Ryan Morrow, second baseman. And then Nicholas Pratt in the lineup. Nicholas in there, taking the place of Glass in the TU lineup after Glass unable to go after a single. Came up hobbling down at first base. Squaring the bunt is Morrow. He'll take a pitch off the plate for ball 1. Lee at first after the single to left field. Jorge with the pitch. That one in tight. Got away from Babbitt behind the plate. And down the second base goes Devin. So he's down there on a wild pitch. Nobody out. Bottom of the 6th. Good start for Tuskegee. Man already in scoring position after Devin's single. Took second on a wild pitch. And Ryan stands in there. And he's ahead in the count. 2 balls, no strikes. Jorge to the plate, squaring. Ryan pulls the bat back and took a strike there on a curveball from Jorge. Holding at second is Devin. Devin out there with Gabriel Garza. He's holding him close. They're just kind of joining it up a little bit there. Ryan took a ball low, and he'll be ahead in the count 3-1. So at the plate, Ryan ahead. On deck, Nicholas Pratt. He can be selective about this 3-1. Here's the pitch. That one attempted bunt by Morrow, and he bunted it foul and out of play. That'll push the count to full at 3-2 now. Nobody down. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. If we can get a look at that shot of Devin Lee and Garza down there by second base, they're just playing cat and mouse with each other. To the plate, this one out in the right field. Backpedaling is Garcia. He's underneath it. Devin's going to tag. Here comes the throw toward third base. Devin will be in there standing up. So sacrifice by Morrow in right field, and he will push Devin over to third, so Devin stands 90 feet away from a Tuskegee lead. It's a good job by Ryan to push that ball deep enough to send Devin over to third. And here comes Nicholas to the plate for Tuskegee. Pratt, a junior from Atlanta. Plenty of playing time for him. Normally starts in that outfield for Tuskegee. .263 batting average. Being asked to step in tonight's game and occupy third base. Try to see if we can't get an update on Glass to see if he's able to go tomorrow in the doubleheader. Lee at third. Pitch up and in the zone for ball one to Pratt. Just one down here in the bottom of the sixth. Dragons tight at the corners at third and first. Curveball there over from Jorge. Good pitch by him. Garcia and Lockwood right at the cut of the grass at third and first. 1-1. Here's a pitch. And Pratt laying off of that one. It got away at the plate, and coming across the score is Devin Lee. Good heads-up read there by Devin. That ball got away from Babbitt and scooted to his left. He didn't see it at the very beginning. He was headed over to his right, and Tuskegee will take the lead as a result of the wild pitch. So TU back on top. Pratt swings, and a ball just wide of third base. So one down. Bottom of the sixth, TU up 9-8 after Lee singled. Got down to second on a stolen base, got to a wild pitch, and a fly ball got him to third, and then on a wild pitch scored. And there, strike three is called on Nicholas Pratt. So Pratt strikes out for the second out here, or correction. Yeah, that was third strike on Pratt, and that'll bring up Scott Williams. Pratt kind of looking back to home plate, questioning whether that was his third or not. But he is retired, and that'll bring Scott Williams to the plate. And Scott's just had an incredible game for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. A triple and a single in the ball game that resulted in runs. And he's also on a sacrifice fly driven in a run. So Scott Williams doing some heavy lifting for the Golden Tigers as they lead at 9-8. Pitch there, chopper on the infield, and it'll roll foul. That's the only option the Dragons had. Lockwood was looking at it. He wasn't going to get there if it stayed in play, and they just let it roll, and it eventually rolled outside the chalk. So back to the plate comes Scott. TU with the one-run lead. No balls, one strike to the designated hitter. Scott Williams steps back in for TU. Jorge on the delivery. Pitches off the plate for a ball. Jabari Johnson on deck for TU. Two down here in the bottom of the sixth. And that pitch just off the plate. Scott Williams with that great eye of his, taking that one off the corner. Count to 2-2. Jorge for the 2-2 delivery. This one chopped on and fouled off right side over the Dragons dugout to our right.
Come on, 2-1. That's my birthday now. Come on.
Tuskegee reclaiming a lead. And this one popped up toward the Dragon dugout, and this one will get out of play just inside of the dugout. Cason Blunt, a senior for the Dragons, had a chance for a catch inside the dugout. Bobbled that one. Count at 2-2 to Williams. Congratulations to Chloe Griffin Harrington, all SIC for women's tennis. And Leonia Payton as well. And there is a called strike 3. Scott left her standing holding the bat, and an eerie look there at Alvin King. But he's retired on the strikeout. Tuskegee leads it as we head into the 7th over the Dragons of Lane College. Washington Field. Back to the plate is Ray Sobrino. That inning retired with Hall being picked off at third base on a steal attempt. So Sobrino able to step back in there at the plate. And Rodney fires the first pitch that's out of the zone for ball 1. TU up 8-9. Little squibbler down the left first base line. Rodney flips it to first. Evan waiting there, and they retire Sobrino. Top of the 7th, first man retired. Sobrino just a little squibbler down toward first base. Rodney hopping off of the mound to make that play. So back to the top they go with Trey Babbitt. Rodney working top of the 7th with 1 down. Here's the pitch. Fastball over for a strike. So Rodney could just keep that rhythm. Once he finds that first hard fastball strike, just can't seem to stay there. This one popped up on the infield. Coming in, Morrow calling it right around the mound, and Ryan will squeeze it there for the out for Tuskegee. Good job there by Morrow on the infield. Good pitch there from Rodney Mudd. So that'll bring up Rogers. The Golden Tigers trying to retire the Dragons for the first time. 3 up and 3 down. Well, they did it back in the 2nd inning. No correction on that. No, they did not. They started that inning with a walk and got 3 after that. So they have not retired the Dragons 3 up and 3 down in the entire ball game. But the good news is Tuskegee still leads at 9-8. Deshaun Rogers at the plate for Lane. 2 down. Rodney rocks and fires. First pitch. Splits the plate with a fastball. Pitcher warming in the bullpen for Tuskegee. Rodney rocks and fires. Curveball there. Swatted out and beyond the chalk line past third base. And Rodney ahead in the count to Deshaun Rogers. One-two pitch on its way from Rodney to the plate. Fastball at the corner, but pushed it way off, and the count pushed to 2-2. Trying to work it away from the zone for Rogers, but they got too far outside. 2-2 delivery. Curveball out to center field, tracking that one, sliding is McLean, and Collin up underneath it for out number 3. So finally the Golden Tigers get the Dragons 3 up and 3 down here in the top of the 7th. We head to the bottom half. TU up by a run.
Broadcast coverage of Tuskegee Athletics on the Golden Tiger Sports Network is brought to you by Alabama Department of Public Health. Healthy people, healthy communities, healthy Alabama. Booster Digital Displays, dedicated to providing high quality, affordable LED displays with exceptional service. TNT Fireworks, celebrating more than 100 years of America's #1 best-selling brand of fireworks. Alabama Power, developed for the service of Alabama. Wind Creek Casino, Montgomery, elevate your game to fabulous. The Home Depot, more saving, more doing. Coca-Cola, real magic. Zuby's Taco Kitchen, Yellowwood. And by Vibes Restaurant, we're all about good vibes. Utilities Board of Tuskegee, purpose, progress, people.
Bottom of the 7th, Jabari Johnson to the plate for the Golden Tigers. Tuskegee up over the Dragons of Lane College, 9-8. As we go to the bottom of the 7th, it'll be Johnson, Jones, and Ward, the 3 up for head coach Chadwick Hall. And the Golden Tigers trying to see if they can't stretch that lead. Anderson Jorge, the freshman, on the mound for the Dragons with the pitch. Delivers a strike there to Johnson to start the sequence off. Oh, 1 curveball. That one pushes off the plate by Jorge. The count at 1-1 now. Pitch called a strike. Line looking at that ball. Jabari all over the top of that pitch, looking down at the shoelaces and can't believe the call by King that was called for a strike. Count at 1-2 nonetheless. That one called strike 3 there. And Jabari still voicing some concern about the calls by Alvin King. That one he thought was off the plate, and the one prior was low. But Jabari is retired on the strikeout here to start the bottom of the 7th. That'll bring up the first baseman, Evan Jones. Evan followed by the catcher, Samarian Ward. Jorge with the pitch, chopped on foul of wide of first base as Evan a little bit late on that fastball. Struck out his last time up, flew out to left field in the bottom of the 3rd, and a strikeout victim again in the bottom of the 1st. So Evan looking to get aboard for the first time. Looks at a pitch there, which is off the plate for ball 1. Lean, Anderson Jorge fires to the plate. Again, Evan late on the swing, fouls it off right side. Tuskegee up by a run. Evan taking that pitch off the plate, and that'll make it full at 2-2. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Evan chasing one out of the zone there. Can't believe he did that, so he strikes out here. So Jabari Johnson struck out. Evan strikes out, and Samarian Ward to the plate now. Samarian got on a single in the 5th, struck out in the 4th, grounded out to the third baseman in the 2nd. Jorge with a curveball, he'll start, and that one's on the inside. Ward took that one for a ball. 2 down, bottom of the 7th. This one on the ground, and he finds a gap left side in between short and third. Ward turns the corner now. The baseball got loose from the left fielder, and Samarian will stand at second base after the single to left field and the error out in left field. So he's down at second base. See if Tuskegee can take advantage of that with 2 down. Jacoby Brooks to the plate for Tuskegee. Jacoby's been on several times in this ball game for Tuskegee. He's pushed across a couple of runs as well. Another scoring opportunity with an RBI for him if Tuskegee can push him in with 2 down. On the stretch now, Anderson Jorge with the pitch to the plate, delivers but low for ball 1. Ward down at second base. Jorge to the plate with the pitch. Curveball, that one's over, but low as well. So the count now, 2 balls, no strikes to Jacoby Brooks for Tuskegee. Swung on and missed by Brooks on a fastball from Jorge. Two down, bottom of the 7th. Tuskegee would love to plate another run for some insurance as we head toward the 8th. Chopped on and fouled off right side by Jacoby. See if he can straighten one out here. Back to the top of the order for Tuskegee if Jacoby can get on. Ward at second. And the pitch. That's called strike 3. Jacoby partly knew that as he stepped out of the box. So striking out the side is Anderson Jorge in the bottom of the 7th. Tuskegee threatens with Ward getting aboard, but they leave him stranded at second base. We head to the 8th. Tuskegee leading 8-9 over the Dragons and Lane College.
Hello, Tuskegee fans. We are Tuskegee University basketball, and we are here to remind you.
Staying up to date on all recommended vaccines is one of the safest preventative health care measures to protect you and your family from disease.
Many children and adults that delayed vaccination during the pandemic are still behind schedule.
That's why it's crucial to take the steps to get everyone back on track with their routine immunizations.
Golden Tigers fans, let's all do our part and get back on track.
Protect yourself and others by making sure you're up to date on all recommended vaccines.
And that includes respiratory virus vaccine.
Tuskegee fans, don't wait, vaccinate.
For more information,
Visit alabamapublichealth.com/IMM.
Back live here at Washington Park, getting deep into the ball game. We head to the top of the 8th. TU still leading at 9-8 over the Dragons of Lane College. Glad you could join us on GTSN. Charles Ward here with our entire production crew on a Friday into the evening now. And back here tomorrow at 1 o'clock for the start of doubleheader action. 3-game series at the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. They want to get into that SIAC baseball tournament in the beginning of May. They've got to climb their way into the top 8, right now number 10. Rodney Mudd still on the hill for Tuskegee. So Gonzalez at the plate, the designated hitter for the Dragons of Lane College, takes the first pitch low for ball 1. Rodney behind an account, no balls, 1 strike. There's a pitch there at the corner, nicely done. 1-1 on the fastball. Right at the mitt, right where Ward had it set up for the strike. 1-1 delivery. That one in tight, scooping back just a little bit there is Gonzalez to get out of the way of the pitch. Eli Garcia and Casey Lockwood on deck and in the hold for the Dragons. Don't think that was no pitch there. I think a timeout had gotten called there by Gonzalez. So yeah, no pitch there on that last pitch. Mudd squares. This one up high in the zone for that's a walk there for Gonzalez. Tuskegee bullpen quiet to our left now. And at the plate for the Dragons of Lane College, Eli Garcia, the right fielder. So 1 aboard here to start the 8th for the Dragons. Mudd, first pitch bounced up there, and that's ball 1. Garcia flew out to right field his last time up. But that was on a sacrifice fly to push a runner closer to the bag, which they eventually scored. He'll take a pitch there right down the middle from Rodney for a strike. So Rodney makes it 1-1 with that fastball. Swung on and missed by Garcia, so Rodney ahead in the count. A few moments ago, we were talking about the all-SIAC selections for Tuskegee's tennis, Chloe Griffin-Harrington and Leilani Payton, both singles SIAC selectees for this season. And on the doubles side, this one in the hole, Devin dives for it there, flips to second, throw over the first. They don't get him at first, but a good job there by Devin Lee at shortstop, smothering that one and coming to his knees and throwing back to Morrow, who was covering at second base, and they retire Gonzalez, the lead runner, for 1 down here in the top of the 8th. Good defensive work there by Devin Lee at short. So Garcia down at first, and at the plate, Casey Lockwood, the third baseman. High pitch for ball 1. Also for SIAC selection for women's tennis on the doubles side, Leilani Payton and Tanya Kaomi. As a doubles team, as a strike delivered there to Lockwood. So the count pushed to 1-1. Pitch there over but low from Mudd to make it 2-1. Top of the 8th inning, Tuskegee leading 9-8. Pitch by Rodney on the ground. Devins arranges, flips back to the second baseman over the first. Double play by Tuskegee. Boy, you talk about the play from Devin Lee at shortstop. He had to range deep into the cut of the grass, caught it and turned on a dime, flipped it to Morrow at second and Ryan on the relay over to Evan at first. You won't find a better double play even at the major league level there. Take a look at this on the replay. Sharply hit ball, and watch Devin go to work there. scooping it there and flipping all in motion. Perfect throw to second to Ryan and relay it over to Evan for the double play. That's Tuskegee style there in terms of retiring the Dragons here in the top of the 8th. Beautifully done on the turn by Morrow at second. And we head to the bottom of the 8th. TU leads it 9-8. Back live here at Washington Field. Crowd still buzzing about that double play by the Golden Tigers to them turn back the Dragons of Lane in the top of the 8th inning. Nicely turned from Devin Lee to Ryan Morrow to Evan Jones at first base. Back to live action now. Bottom of the 8th inning. At the top of the order, it's Colin McLean into the batter's box for Tuskegee. Took the first pitch for a ball. Anderson Jorge set to deliver. Devin Lee on deck for Tuskegee. Here's the pitch. This one, Collins swings and fouls it off right side. Collin busy early on in this ball game for Tuskegee. Got on a base on balls, scored, and then got on a triple and scored in the second inning. Holding that bat up, didn't go on that swing there on a pitch up in the zone, so the count to 2-1. Jorge with the pitch. That one in for a strike, count at 2-2. Collin struck out his last 2 times at the plate. Count even here, 2-2. That pitch, Collin able to lay off, and it'll take it to a full count at 3-2 now. Nobody out. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Payoff pitch coming here from Jorge. Pitch swatted out the right field, tracking there and saying that he's got it is Garcia. And he'll make the catch to retire Collin here to start the bottom of the 8th for Tuskegee. That'll bring up Devin Lee. And he will come to the plate. He's still got to be buzzing about that play that he started that double play turn on for Tuskegee in the top of the 8th inning. Let's see if he can carry that over into this bat. Last time up, able to single and eventually came across to score for Tuskegee. He also scored in the second inning for the Golden Tigers. So Devin just doing the work both ways for Tuskegee today with the bat and in the field. First pitch from Jorge to Devin is off the plate for ball 1. 9-8 lead for Tuskegee. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Here's the pitch. Devin spits on a ball that's off the plate for ball 2. Got more action for you here tomorrow on GTSN. We'll start at 1 o'clock with doubleheader action, same 2 teams. Tuskegee trying to pull a series sweep of the Dragons of Lane College to better their standing. Lee swings at a pitch, he lates and shoots one into the Tuskegee dugout to his left. Everybody kind of scampering for cover there. And looks like everybody is all right. That one's a little bit taller than the height of the players. A lot of them standing there. So a little bit lower, that would have been trouble, but just a little bit over the head level of all the players in the dugout. 2-1, one down. Pitch from Jorge. This one on the ground, scooped by the third baseman Lockwood across the diamond, and he fires it there to retire Devin Lee. So routine play there by Lockwood at third, and Tuskegee will have Ryan Morrow coming to the plate now on the bottom of the 8th with 2 down. Ryan flew out on a fly to right field to sacrifice his last time up. 2 down here, trying to see if he can't get a rally started here. Takes the first pitch over for ball. Tuskegee up by a 9-8 lead in the bottom of the 8th. I'd like to give Rodney Mudd a little bit more cushion to work in the top of the 9th. Jorge with the pitch. That one low on the inside. And the count to 2 balls, no strikes on Ryan Morrow. A reminder that Tuskegee's track and field team will be engaged in the championships next weekend from Rock Hill, South Carolina. That's from Thursday to Saturday. SIAC Coach of the Year, Eastern League, and the track and field team competing for Tuskegee in the outdoors next weekend. Congratulations to Lashana being named SIAC Coach of the Year as Morrow takes a pitch off the plate for ball 4, and he gets to walk. And that'll bring up Nicholas Pratt. Pratt in the lineup, replaced Alex Glass. Alex injured after he took a swing at the plate that bounced off of his left insole. And then on the ensuing bat by him, got a base hit, but he had to labor to get on at first base and replaced by Pratt in the lineup. Nicholas looking at a ball that's off the plate to get things started. 2 down, bottom of the 8th inning. Ryan just walked. He's down at first base. Scott Williams with a bat. He's on deck. 2 down. Jorge to the plate with the pitch. Strike called as Nicholas laying off that pitch. And the count goes even to 1-1. Jorge with the pitch. Pitch was low. Good stop there behind the plate by Babbitt. And count at 2-1. And Pratt settles back in. Morrow drew the walk. And the Dragons are going to huddle here with the entire infield coming to the mound around head coach Jeff Della Concha. Coach Della Concha in his first year at Lane College. He's trying to make sure everybody is together on this particular pitch and the sequence here with 2 down. They can't afford to give up another run. They know that. And Tuskegee knows that it would be good for them to get another headed into the top of the 9th. Pratt ahead in the count, 2 balls, 1 strike. Ryan Morrow down at first. Scott Williams on deck for Tuskegee. All the players set. And Anderson Jorge set to deliver on the 2-1 delivery. Pitch count at 8. Now he throws to the plate, swatted out and down for a base hit in left field. Good piece of hitting there by Nicholas Pratt. And moving over to third base because he was on the move on the pitch was Ryan Morrow. So Tuskegee with runners on the corners now as Pratt delivers on a base hit. And he's aboard at first, and that moves Ryan over to third, and that will bring up Scott Williams. Scott has just been dynamite this afternoon in the baseball game. A couple of base hits in the contest for Tuskegee. He scored a couple of times as well. A couple of big RBI hits for Scott Williams. And we'll see what the senior is able to do here as he comes to the plate here in the bottom of the 8th. TU leading 9-8. 2 aboard. Williams spits on that first fastball, which is off the plate for ball 1. Morrow at third. Pratt at first. Williams up in the count, 1 ball, no strikes. Anderson Jorge in the stretch. Delivers. Pitch swung on, fouled back by Williams to the right side. Scott rarely cheats himself on the swing at the plate. Didn't there, had a good cut at it, just missed it. Count even at 1-1. John Saffold swinging a bat now for Tuskegee as Williams looks at a pitch high in his zone. Saffold, the junior from Birmingham, not playing in this ball game so far for the Golden Tigers. A lot of baseball ahead over the weekend. Definitely need John's play. Voted the most valuable teammate for the Golden Tigers this baseball season at the banquet on Wednesday night. Here's the pitch. This one chopped on at the plate and fouled back by Williams. So the count even at 2-2. 2 down, bottom of the 8th inning. Scott trying to give Tuskegee some insurance runs with runners at the corners. Jorge on the 2-2. Pitch, curveball off the plate. And Scott Williams shakes his head at that one saying no, no, no. So now the count full at 3-2. The runners at the corners, 2 down. They'll be taking off here. Three-two. There they go. And that's ball 4. So Scott Williams with a good look at that at the plate and drew the walk for Tuskegee. Now the bases are loaded. So Williams at first on the walk. Down to second goes Pratt, and over to third, Morrow stays for Tuskegee, and John Saffold set to come to the plate now for Tuskegee. John's first bat of this contest against the Dragons of Lane College. John on the season, .317 batting average, slugging percentage of .446, and on-base percentage of .415. Clutch time here for the junior to see if he can't come in with a base hit for Tuskegee to give him a little bit of breathing room as we keep our eyes set on the top of the 9th. 2 down here in the bottom of the 8th. TU with the bases loaded. Anderson Jorge delivers. First pitch over for a strike to Saffold. Morrow at third, Pratt at second. Williams at first. Jorge, 0-1 pitch. That one in tight for ball 1. Count to 1-1 now. No place to put Saffold. Jorge rocks and fires. Curveball, that's over for a strike, and John knew it. Count at 1-2 now. Now Saffold really got to tighten things up at the plate, smother everything that appears to be a strike. See if they go over the curveball again here. 1-2, Saffold, and the pitch. This one chopped out the right field. Did it get down? Chasing it, and over the shoulder, can't get to it. It's over Garcia's head. He's at the base of the fence line now. Tuskegee sending Scott all the way around from first base. And John Saffold with a triple out to right field. He clears the bags for Tuskegee. As he shot one out to right field, Garcia gave chase. He just could not glove it. And Saffold stands at third, delivering big here for Tuskegee in the bottom of the 8th. So a big plug there by John Saffold. Now head coach Jeff Delaconcha is challenging something on the playing field after, I don't know if it's a runner touching a bag or something with the hit itself. But they're going to rule whatever that was not in play, and everything will stand. So Saffold pushes 3 across with his big-time triple out in the right field. They took the bat from Jabari Johnson and put it in John's hand, and Sappho delivers big for Tuskegee. Unloads the bags with a 3-shot RBI for a triple for him out in the right field. So Tuskegee extends its lead over the Dragons of Lane College on the triple by Saffold. Tuskegee 12-8 over Lane after the work by Saffold. Took it deep into the count and just laced out on one out in the right field. Garcia gave chase, but he just could not leg it to get to it, just out of his glove. And looks like they may have ejected the head coach for the Dragons of Lane College. And they will. Head coach Jeff Delaconcha with an easy seat on the bus now, as they eject him from the baseball game. He was challenging something on the field, likely a runner touching a bag. But he will get to watch the rest of this one from in the dugout or on the van, as he's collecting his things in the dugout for the Dragons of Lane College and down in the corner. And yeah, he is headed toward the van. It's parked back behind us. So an early day for Coach Delaconcha. And Tuskegee took them late into the evening, but they extend their lead to 12-8 now as we get set to go with Evan Jones at the plate. And as the bottom of the 8th continues for the Golden Tigers, with Evan Jones stepping in and John Saffold down at third base, the man of the hour, as he delivered a banging hit out in the right field that got over the head of Garcia, who was trying to track it down at the fence line but just could not run it down. So triple for Saffold, and Tuskegee extends its lead to 12-8. Jorge with the pitch. Strike delivered there to Evan Jones. Would really like to see Evan get his confidence built up here as Tuskegee extends its lead. Struck out the last 2 times at the plate. Takes a curveball there, swings at that one. Missed on that one. He's down at a count 0-2. Two down, bottom of the 8th. TU has just blown it open as Evan takes the ball down low. Saffold at third. Wall pitch will get him home. Base hit will do the same. Jorge with the pitch, curveball, and he fooled Evan. And on the 3, they get him on that last out. So Evan with the trifecta from the plate strikes out again here in the bottom of the 8th. But Tuskegee, they don't strike out in the bottom of the 8th. They answer with 3 here in the bottom of the 8th, and they take a 12-8 lead over the Dragons of Lane College. We head to the 9th, TU up top. Back live here at Washington Park. We go to Washington Field, that is. We go to the top of the ninth. Golden Tigers of Tuskegee build a 12-8 lead after John Saffold tripled out in right field and scored 3 for the Golden Tigers as we head to the top of the ninth now. And substitute batter in the lineup for the Dragons of Lane College. It'll be Keyshawn Hall. This is another Hall, not Trayshawn Hall, who hit the home run. And this is his brother. He's a junior from Hueytown as well. So one Hall hit a home run. We'll see if Rodney Mudd can retire this Hall here. Starts him with a curveball, but that one's low and on the inside. Got some clarity from the sports information director at Lane College as to why Coach Della Concha was challenging something on the field, which resulted in him getting tossed from the ball game. He was challenging whether Saffold, the curveball there is over there from Rodney Mudd. Coach was challenging whether John touched first base after he hit the triple and got it out in the right field, saying that he missed first base on his turn. Curveball there, that one's just a little bit short by Rodney, so the count to 2-1. And talking to PJ, if the call had been made that he did miss first base, then the only run that would have counted would have been the run that was at the first one at third base, and the other two would not. But the call was not implemented in terms of what Coach Della Concha was arguing, and they just stood with the play as it went, and neither umpire saw anything at first base. So all the runs count, and Tuskegee leads at 12-8, and 2-2 is the count on Keyshawn Hall now. Squibbler by him, foul ball. He stays alive at the top of the ninth. So Tuskegee has battled in this ball game back and forth in this contest with each team taking leads. And Tuskegee just blowing things open here in the bottom of the eighth to take a 12-8 lead into the top of the ninth. Trying to see if they can't work through this pretty quickly. Right now, Keyshawn Hall and Rodney Mudd in the 2-2 count. Rodney rocks and fires on the 2-2. Curveball over for strike 3, and Hall knew it. Shook his head immediately right away, gave credit for a good curveball there from Rodney. So Rodney retires Keyshawn Hall, and the other half of the duo for the Halls comes to the plate now, and that'll be Trayshawn Hall. Oh, he homered back in the 5th. They walked him in the 6th. They'll get to him here with one down in the top of the 9th, and he started with a curveball that bounces up there for ball 1. O'Neal on deck for the Dragons of Lane College. Rodney doesn't want to go that deep into her lineup here. Throws another curveball and freezes Trayshawn Hall there and takes the count to 1-1. One delivery, fastball, swung on and fouled off to the right side by Hall. So he's down in the count now, 1-2. See if Rodney dares goes back to the curveball here, head in the count 1-2. He rocks, fires, and delivers curveball. This one up top in the zone to take it to 2-2. Won't be a bad idea to try that again on the 2-2. One down, top of the 9th. Nobody on. Tuskegee up 12-8. Here we go with the pitch. Another curve. Wow. Hall took it. King didn't call it. Looked mighty good from here, though. Count to full. So now you're talking gas. Challenge Hall here at the plate. 3-2 with the pitch. Popped up and out of play right side. You're not hurt by anything that Hall can do against you with nobody on base, so you might as well be aggressive with him to try to get him to strike out here. 3-2 pitch, curveball, and he hit him in the back. He went to the curve one too many times there. That time they didn't get any turn on it at all. The point I was trying to make about Rodney from the mound is that pitch he just did not seem that committed to in terms of throwing it, and the result was he just never got it near the plate like he wanted to. A lot of times you see him when he's definitive about the pitch he's going to throw, he's a lot more aggressive about it and normally gets the pitch over that he wants. This time a hit batsman puts a runner on, and that'll bring up McNeil to the plate. So Hall hit by that pitch. He's at first. One down, top of the ninth. Throw over, and diving back under that was Hall. Just barely on a good throw there from Rodney. Evan holding Treshawn Hall close at first. Pitch to the plate. Inside corner, call for a strike. Count at 1-1. See if Rodney can't coax a ground ball here. Maybe finish this thing on a double play. We've seen a nifty one turned by Lee, Morrow, and Evan Jones a minute or so ago. Pitch here. This one at the corner. Another strike there by Rodney. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about here. Last couple of pitches, decisive about the pitch they were throwing, just went right to work from the mound and got the strikes called. Throw over the first, and this one got by Evan Jones, but Evan runs it down just past the coach's box, and they will hold Hall there at first base. Meanwhile, 1-2 is the count to O'Neill at the plate. Carson Blunt swinging a bat for the Dragons. One down. Here's a pitch. Off the plate for ball 2. So 2-2 to O'Neill. Two count for Mudd. One down, pitch, curveball, called strike 3. And Alvin King almost had too much of O'Neill on his call after that called strike 3. He was barking at O'Neill, or King behind the plate, O'Neill was, as he strikes out. So 2 down here in the top of the ninth. Tuskegee. One more run, one batter to go here to claim this win in the ball game, the first of 3. So that'll bring up Ray Sobrino, and they got a substitute batter for him. That'll be Carson Blunt. Blunt, the senior from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. He'll report in. And Rodney Mudd now behind the mound. And Blunt set to step in. 302 batting average. And it's just going to be a one-on-one match with he and Rodney Mudd here with 2 down in the top of the ninth. Hall down at first base. 12-8 lead. Neither of these runs can hurt you. Mudd with the pitch. First one delivered in there for a strike. So Rodney ahead in the count. No balls, 1 strike to Blunt. Here he is, pitch there, just off the plate, count at 1-1. Rodney would love to get this ball game closed on a strikeout, but he'll take it any way he can. Pitch there, swung on and missed by Blunt. And now Rodney ahead in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the Dragons down to their last strike with Case and Blunt back into the box now for them. 1-2 pitch. Rodney delivers. Almost chasing it was Blunt, but he held off. Count to 2-2 now. So Rodney set for the 2-2 delivery. 2 down, top of the ninth. Here's the pitch. Curveball, that one out of the zone, and the count to full at 3-2. So Sean Hall down at first base. Payoff pitch coming. Pitch inside, and Blunt takes a walk. So the runner's at second and first now. And that'll bring up Trey Babbitt back to the top of their order. So Blunt was in the order for Sobrino. And they'll put the bats in the hands of Babbitt. Tuskegee with a 12-8 lead, 2 down. Rodney trying to close this ball game out. First pitch fastball is up and in the zone. Don't want to overthrow it here. You got a lead. You can let that defense do the work for you. Opportunity to strike out the side is not that big of an issue versus getting a ground ball or a pop-up to finish things off. Here's a pitch. That one up in the zone as well. So behind in the count now, 2 balls, no strikes, is Rodney Mudd on the mound for Tuskegee. 2 aboard, 12-8 lead for TU. There's a pitch. That swung on and missed by Bobbitt. Yeah, you got to go at them here. Make them do something with the bat. Don't walk them. Runners at the second and first. Rodney, pitch there on the corner. Good pitch there. Even things up in 2-2 with a fastball. 2-2 delivery, 2 down, top of the ninth. Tuskegee. Rodney Mudd trying to close things out on a 2-2 pitch. Looks back to second, rocks and fires to the plate, and he threw that one high for 3-2. So the count goes full. 2 on, 2 down. Rodney squares up, fires, and bounced that one up there, and the base is loaded now. And here comes Coach Chadwick Hall, headed toward the mound, looking toward the dugout or the bullpen area. Didn't see anybody active out there, but he will come toward the mound as Rodney walks the last 2 batters in a row, and he loads the bases. Conference at the mound. And looks like they may close the book on Rodney and here go to the bullpen to see if they can't get this last out retired. And it may be, I think it's going to be Devin Lee coming in from shortstop. Looks like it. We'll see if that's the case. I believe that is going to be Devin taking the mound for Tuskegee. Yep, there will be Devin Lee going there to see if he can't close things out. Good job by Rodney Mudd. Rodney came in relief of Amari Morgan well early in this ball game and carried Tuskegee the distance all the way here to the top of the ninth. Got it all the way to 2 outs. Gave up a couple of walks. And now Devin Lee coming on now for Tuskegee to see if he can't close the door. Right now the base is loaded for the Dragons of Lane College. And a danger zone here for Tuskegee as Devin getting his warm-up tosses. I don't even want to talk about Grand Slam territory here. Bases are full. And the Dragons of Lane College is going to be Deshaun Rogers will come to the plate with 2 down. Bases loaded, top of the ninth. Tuskegee leads 12-8. And Devin Lee has done it with the bat. He's done it with his glove at shortstop. Now he's being asked to do it strictly with his arm on the mound for the Golden Tigers to come in here in the top of the ninth to close things out. No question, Devin with a strong arm and can deliver the velocity. It'll be an issue of whether Deshaun Rogers can catch up with that fastball of Devin. And Devin has the ability to mix that high-velocity fastball with that curveball to give him a change of pace. So as Deshaun Rogers gets set to come to the plate, Devin finishes his warm-up tosses. This one going down to the wire, as it has been all game long. Dragons with the bases loaded. And Devin Lee being asked to come in to see if he can't close things out for Tuskegee. Final pitch there by Devin, and we're set. So Marion Ward behind the plate. Bases tracked with Dragons of Lane College. And at the plate, Deshaun Rogers for Lane. Rogers has never homered for them this season. And Devin pitching from the stretch for Tuskegee. 12-8 lead for the Golden Tigers. Devin rocks and fires. First pitch off the plate for ball 1. Good stop there by Ward to slide to his right to make that catch of the fastball. 1 ball, no strikes. Lee rocks and fires. His pitch. Strike called at the corner. Count to 1-1. Now he's got the confidence with that first strike called. See if he can go to work on Rogers here. Bases are loaded for the Dragons. Top of the 9th. Must win for Tuskegee. They lead 12-8. Pitch. Swung on. Looped out to right field. Lunging for it. Morrow can't get it. Out in right field. They're going to throw it at the plate. Here's the throw there. They don't get the runner at the plate. So 2 cross for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. Or for the Dragons of Lane College. It's Tuskegee going to Devin Lee. And Lee with a pitch that was hit out the right field. Morrow dove for it from its second base position, but it was over his head, and it was down in front of Brooks out in right field. So 2 across for the Dragons of Lane College now in the top of the 9th. And that will bring up their designated hitter, Saul Gonzalez. And Tuskegee with 2 aboard for the Dragons, still within that danger zone. Devin with a pitch. That one, fastball inside for ball 1. Runners on the bag, 2 of them for the Dragons of Lane College. Gonzalez, a couple of hits for the Dragons in this ball game. Lee, 1-0 pitch. Fastball off the plate and count to 2-0. 2 down here in the top of the 9th. Not quite out of the building yet. Golden Tigers. Dragons with 2 on. Devin Lee behind in the count. Pitch there on the inside, call for a strike, 2-1. Just straight fastballs from Devin Lee challenging Saul Gonzalez. 2-1 count now. Devin looked back to the runners, pitch there, swung on, fouled and out of play, count to 2-2. So the Dragons down to their last strike now. Let's see if Devin goes with some heat here on a 2-2. Or if he can get Gonzalez out front of a changeup on a curve. 2 down. Gonzalez and the Dragons down to his last strike here in the top of the 9th. 2-2 delivery. Curveball, that one out of the zone for ball 3. They were trying to get him off stride just a little bit there. So now the count at full at 3-2. Players hanging over the railings at each dugout. And Gonzalez steps out. And umpire Alvin King standing at home plate. Not sure what King was checking there. But we're at full count, 3-2. There's there are two runners aboard for the Dragons. And on a 3-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Devin Lee comes through for Tuskegee, strikes out Gonzalez to end the threat by the Dragons of Lane College here. As the lights flash here at Washington Field, signaling the Tuskegee win. Golden Tigers win at 12-10 over the Dragons of Lane College. Take a look at that final pitch and the swing and the throw by Devin Lee. Good fastball. Gonzalez not able to catch up with it. And Tuskegee able to shut the door on the Dragons of Lane College. They came into this top of the 9th leading 12-8. They gave up 2 runs, but able to close things out with the 12-10 win over the Dragons of Lane College. So Tuskegee able to win the first ball game out of a series of 3 coming your way here on GTSN. 2 tomorrow, but Tuskegee will celebrate tonight as they win the first one over the Dragons of Lane College 12-10. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll wrap things up, get you set for tomorrow's action on GTSN.
Hello, Tuskegee fans. We are Tuskegee University Basketball, and we are here to remind you
Staying
don't
up
have
to
to
date
be
on
long,
all
Lisa,
recommended
so-
vaccines is one of the safest preventative health care measures to protect you and your family from disease.
Many children and adults that delayed vaccination during the pandemic are still behind schedule.
That's why it's crucial to take the steps to get everyone back on track with their routine immunizations.
Golden Tigers fans, let's all do our part and get back on track.
Protect yourself and others by making sure you're up to date on all recommended vaccines.
And that includes respiratory virus vaccine.
Tuskegee fans, don't wait, vaccinate.
For more information, visit alabamapublichealth.com/IML.
Golden Tigers put across a good bottom half of the 8th inning. They take a lead 12-8 headed into the top of the 9th. They are able to stave off the Dragons of Lane College to win it 12-10 in the first ball game of 3 here over the weekend at Washington Field over the Dragons of Lane College. So Tuskegee wins it 12-10. And they will take their mark now to 14-28 overall. And congratulations to Coach Chadwick Hall. That is his best performance as a head coach of the Golden Tigers baseball program with the 14 wins. That's his best over the 3 years that he's been here. They go to 14-28. More importantly, 10-18 in SIAC play. They beat the number 7 team in the Dragons of Lane College, who fall to 11-26 and 11-16 in SIAC play. So a lot of work still ahead for Tuskegee over the weekend. They want to sweep the Dragons of Lane College to stay in contention for the top 8 and head into the tournament at the beginning of the month of May. But they've still got some work to do ahead with this squad on tomorrow, first ball game at 1 o'clock. And we'll have the coverage starting right before the hour here on GTSN. Special thanks to Tuskegee President Dr. Mark Brown, Dr. Rolanda Schmeiss, our Chief Operating Officer, and the Executive Producer and Director of Athletics at Tuskegee, Reginald Ruffin, and to the entire athletic staff for a job well done over a weekend of heavy work with the banquet and the cookout over the course of this weekend. And a special thanks to our production crew here with Marcus and Lisa Burnett and Malachi Art, Satchel Hill, and Felipe Banks for their work with the cameras here. In this first of 3 over the weekend, Tuskegee wins the first one 12-10. Right back here tomorrow on GTSN when they'll meet the Dragons here at 1 o'clock at Washington Field. Please make your plans to join us then. Charles Ward saying thanks so much for joining us and have a good evening. This has been a production of the Golden Tigers Sports Network.